if they are inside of us, and they may be inside of us. It might be physical boundaries, just nonsense. Like, who gives a fuck where it's from? It's all everywhere, all the time. You just don't have access to it right now. You don't need your default state, because default fundamental state is a primate. But it's in there. And occasionally you have access to it. You have access to it near death in this barbaric state that you live in.
Well, I think it has to do with the. I mean, if it's really high, if their levels are really high in the brain, this could be just a DMT simulation.
Right.
Yeah.
It could be.
In which case, there still is cause and effect.
Well, just imagine a world where this wasn't reality, but then you got to experience this. It would be completely psychedelic. You'd be like, what is this fucking crazy world?
It'd be different. Yeah. It's the 3D and the shadow people.
Do you know how weird it is sometimes if you just stand on a corner and watch people just walking and looking at their phones?
Yeah. Well,
it's like people have been kidnapped and they don't even know it.
Yeah, there's a lot of that here.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Well, I went back to Albuquerque last year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. After 14 years in Gallup is plenty.
Nice.
So it's cool.
Better? You like it?
Yeah, I do.
Nice.
Yeah, we have a front lawn and a back lawn.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Albuquerque's home to some of the greatest mixed martial arts fighters ever.
Yeah.
John Jones lives in Albuquerque.
Right.
Greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Shout out to Albuquerque. Jackson Winklejohn in the house.
I love New Mexico. That's great.
Well, it's a crazy state with a rich history and beautiful landscape. Oh my God. I have a friend who just got back from elk hunting there. He was raving about how gorgeous it was out there.
This guy is great. We had a pretty cool governor. Before she was governor, she was the Secretary of Health.
Oh, cool.
During COVID. So she knows public health.
And she's a nice lady.
Yeah.
You like her?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thanks for being here, man. It was a lot of fun. It always is. It's always great to see you. It's been great to be your friend all these years.
Oh, yes, man.
It's great to see you healthy.
That's great. Yes, and you look pretty wonderful yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is my DMT and the Soul of Prophets? Oh,
yeah, it's right here.
There it is. Yeah. It's pretty old.
Hold that sucker up. Please look by it.
It came out in 2014. Yeah. It's what's the soul prophecy? Is it the visions or is it the message?
So, and then there's the other books that are available. DMT, the Spirit Molecule, which is what got me into you in the first place. What a great cover too, that Alex Gray artwork.
Well, and his artwork is on the second book too.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's Alex Gray as well.
He's amazing. I mean, that guy, there's no one ever has captured the DMT state quite like him. Is he Chapel of Sacred Mirrors that he has now?
Yeah.
The 3D printed chapel.
Do you have any of his original art?
No.
I've got the Spirit Molecule.
Oh,
it's so cool.
That's awesome.
It's in the hallway. Yeah, it's great.
He's been a sweet guy though. We've talked to him a few times. All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you. Goodbye, everybody.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
My day, Joe Rogan Podcast, my name, all day. Good. Mark, what's happening, yo? Dude, the movie's fantastic. And I know I told you outside, but I wanted to say that when I kind of had a little bit of a prejudice when I went to see the movie, I was like, okay, it's going to be an MMA movie. Yeah. But it's not. It's a movie that happens to be about MMA, but it's a great movie. It's really good, man. It's like very gripping, and the performances are fantastic, and the way The Rock did you was nuts.
I can't explain it. I keep using the word surreal, but it doesn't describe it. Like it was my son when he watched it and just flipping out, like talking to me, like I was saying, like literally, just going, Dad, your mannerisms. He's got your speech better. But you imagine, like I'm picturing like New York when he watched that. And so I'm picturing him in the corner of the lobby of the theater, full blown like it was like the because a lot of my saying to myself is I can't see the forest of trees. I'm in the middle of it. Am I looking at it objectively? Am I really looking at it? Or am I seeing something and hear my son say, oh my gosh, Daddy nailed it.
Right. No,
unbelievable.
He really
to do this, dude. Like you don't have to do this. And he would stop me and he would go,
what do you mean by you don't have to do this?
So meaning that like he's at a place in his life. I mean, he says it himself. There's always a place for that. There's always going to be a place for blockbuster movies and for that. But he needed to do something different. He needed to do something different.
Well, it's a perfect role if you want to do something different for him because it's a very complex role and it's about a giant dude.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So it's like really like the perfect way. Because otherwise, if you're built like he is, it's very hard to get work as a serious actor. This might be like the only opportunity to show people like, hey, I can actually act.
Yeah.
I think he did it flying colors.
He did an amazing job. I mean,
amazing.
To the point, like Emily, unbelievable.
She's great. She plays such a great.
Oh my God.
She's so good at it. Oh my God. She's so crazy.
Oh my God.
It gave me anxiety.
8% complete version. The film in January, and then the first time I see a complete version of it was in Venice. And so I'm in Venice, and there's Benny on my right, and there's DJ on my left, and there's Emily next to accomplish something at all cost. And the person that paid it the most was Dawn. She paid a heavy price, and anybody that's successful, for me, I was trying to raise everybody up, everybody around me. And it was just this selfish endeavor. And I could see it in those moments. I could see it in who DJ was.
Crazy. Oh my God. So crazy.
Oh my God.
Such
Were they even paying you back then?
A little bit. They paid me a little bit.
Oh my God.
It wasn't a lot of money. But it was, for me, it was just for fun. It was like, I was a giant fan of the sport. And what happened was, Campbell McLaren, you remember Campbell?
Yeah.
He was good friends with my manager, Jeff. And they were just talking. And he said, we need a guy to do backstage interviews. post-fight interviews, and he goes, Joe really loves the sport. He follows all the fights in Japan, and so for me, just fun. I mean, it wasn't. It was actually costing me quitting because I quit. I did it for like a year and a half, 2 years maybe, and then in '98 I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's just actually costing me money. And so then when I started doing Fear Factor, that's when Zoo Football. But in those days, it was for me, it was a dream because I was brainwashed by the idea that that first time I was still under the delusion that was the truth, and so my trainer kept going, "Oh, trust me, you're gonna do fine. Trust me, you're gonna do fine." And it's just like he understood what I was a wrestler, that I can impose. Like I said, to tell you that where they can't do a fucking thing about it. Exactly. That's a wrestler. And you can dictate where the fight takes place always. So if you become a wrestler like Chuck Liddell, then you say, no, take me down. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to beat the fuck out of you standing, and there's nothing you can do about it. Not a single thing. It's the most important skill. Oh my God, it's foundational. And that's why there's so much success for the deck. I'm going to blank on the names, but the wrestlers is a resurgence of like really what a foundational piece it is, and how important it is when you have a high. You know what they're able to do too as a wrestler? I always just look at the Russian wrestlers and go, what makes them so good? They could flurry in succession more times than I could. Like Kurt Angle, right? When I wrestled against Kurt trained at a level that I wasn't training at. He could sustain a flurry to the point mistakes, because I'd be to exhaustion. And you watch them; they'll string these moves together and string them. Like Hamza Chimaev. Yeah. Oh my God! He's the best example of that. Unbelievable. Because you'll see him shoot, reshoot, shoot again, get in a fake, shoot again. And you can't keep up with it. You just make mistakes, or you just give it to the exhaustion of the moment, right? Yeah. And it's just like, okay, nothing you can do about it. When a guy has insane cardio with those kind of skills, it is the toughest combination to beat. Like Cain Velasquez in his prime. Oh my God. Insane cardio. Yep. Elite wrestling. Yeah. And then elite MMA stand-up skills. Everything. Scary. The cardio is the scary. When you're scared to hit the gas, like 3 more minutes in the round, and you see Cain is just fucking bobbing around, and like he's like, it defies logic. But there's guys like that have that fucking Hernandez in the middleweight division. And then you got Merab Dvalishvili, who's like the best example of it, unstoppable. So this is kind of again one of these things where there's certain athletes that have a gear that nobody else has. Yeah. Just how they're built. Well, I remember when you came along and when Coleman came along, all of a sudden everybody's like, I gotta get on steroids. Yeah. Oh my God. Everybody's like, I gotta get bigger. I gotta get bigger. I was like, oh my 40 pounds big. Big. Way too big for his frame. I mean, you're talking about a guy which was bananas. So that night was my Vitor.
And it's one of those where I'm like, oh, yes,
Right.
Randy's cardio.
Mm-hmm.
Randy goes like he did get, and it was things where I was like, I don't think Victor's gonna win.
Right.
It's just
And that's what we called him back then. His name was Victor.
Yeah.
When he first came into the UFC, when his first fight, when he was fighting in Hawaii, he was Victor Gracie.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, he was going by the last name Gracie. And then I think he got sued or threatened with a lawsuit, and then changed it to Victor Belfort because, like, Orion was very litigious. You know?
Yeah,
he was like very protective of the Gracie name, and so he fought John Hess in Hawaii and beat the living shit out of him.
Rumble on the Rock stuff or whatever.
I don't think it was Rumble on the Rock. That was PJ's promotion, and that was later. This was like really early on. This was I don't know who the fuck was doing that event, but it was just in a ring. And Vitor came out and blitzed him with punches, and nobody had seen anything like that before. Like, oh God, this is because everybody thought Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Yeah.
You're gonna think you're gonna have a guy with his hands like that.
Oh my God, his hand speed was unreal.
But he was so fast,
Unreal and accurate.
Yeah.
Like you can be fast, and that's one thing, but fast and actually hitting the target when the target's bobbing and weaving, it's like, oh my God, man.
He's an interesting case study because he's like, first of all, pioneer, right?
Yep.
First fought in the UFC when he was 19 years old. Right?
Crazy.
And, won the tournament at 19, which is just bananas. And then when we got to see him he got off the sauce and his body kind of faded out. And then they brought back testosterone replacement. And then when testosterone replacement came in, all of a sudden it was TRT Vitor, and he was the scariest motherfucker alive for like 5 fights or whatever it was, where they killed the TRT exemptions, and then it all went away for him. It's just like, that should be a commercial for testosterone replacement.
Yeah, I mean, it really could be. Back then, because there was so much myth surrounding mixed martial arts, that you felt like if you didn't do something, it was like the saying is like, oh, you're going to a gunfight. It was that type of mentality back then.
It was also, everyone was on it, and there was no testing.
Yeah.
And in fact, in Pride, when Ensign was on the podcast, he told me that in large letters said, "We do not test for steroids."
Man.
They're like,
so they would do this. They would hand you a cup and go, urine. And you go, it's clean. Just look around and you just hand the cup going, hey, can you piss? Here. And you literally walk back to the medical and go, here's the fee. Yeah, here. And I mean, that's the era it was.
So your first fight was it in Brazil?
In Brazil.
And the crazy thing, they reproduced that arena, that conference room, perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, because I saw your first fight, I saw all those early fights, and then to see that in like the movie, I was like, oh, they did it. This is perfect.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they fudge a little.
So I was in Vancouver set. It's like, what the fuck? Where in the bigger picture of stuff is going? But they reproduced it to
it was perfect.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
It was in the movie they did about Mark Scholl. That movie had a lot of shenanigans in it. Wow.
it reproduced everything.
Wow.
So Joe, I mean, like when I went up to Vancouver, like and walked into some of these sets, like literally going, holy fucking shit.
Did it flashback?
Oh my God. Like you'd walk into a room and there'd be from one corner all the way to the other on the wall, just pictures of me in my house and my this and this outfit, this and these in my house and this and then production saying, okay, was this accurate? How did this? It was this unbelievable, painstaking. They rebuilt my life 25 years ago. So when DJ got into me, he actually was. He was me. Yeah,
It seemed like it, man. I mean, it really did because it's just it's hard when a guy's so famous to pretend that he's someone else.
Yeah.
He has to like be really good to get you convinced. And I was all in. In.
So first time I saw him in Vancouver, like nobody said, hey, listen, we're gonna do prosthetics, we're gonna give him your cauliflower ear, we're gonna make his brow, and then nobody told me this. So I was up there for fight week, and they're getting ready to shoot the scene where they're introducing everybody to the finalists for the Grand Prix. Last one to walk in, and I'm watching the ring. I don't know he's behind me, and I turn around, and it's like this. Like I see him as me. Like this is what I did. I'm like, fuck you. Like fuck you. Like oh my God. And it's this moment where I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at myself.
Yeah.
I can still see him in there, but I'm like, look at myself, and it's this experience where I'm like, oh my God, man, like, wow, like you're going, like this is you going to a place that nobody even thought you could get to.
Right.
Like it was incredible.
Well, you're such an important part of the history of MMA that I think this movie did that. It really honored that. It really did it justice because at the end of the movie when it talks about how fighters today make millions of dollars.
I'll cry. Go on. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's like, but that you guys paved the way. If it wasn't for you guys, just doing it for very little money, like barely getting by.
Man.
Putting your whole life on the line and barely getting by. Oh, and I love that you had Alexander Usyk.
Oh my God, it's like
this episode, that was amazing.
So Benny signed it before he became the undisputed champ.
Oh wow! Right, 2019. Yeah. Wow.
So it's one of those things where everything just kind of lined up in a way where you're like, all right, this is manifest destiny, right? This is like Joe Dispenza, you're really tapping into something that's bigger because it's pulled all these people together.
Usyk did a great job.
Oh, he did a phenomenal job.
Championship.
Oh my God, he did that spinning back.
Yes.
I'm like, he's a boxer. He's not supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know he could do that.
No, neither did I.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess I can kind of do anything. He's a great athlete.
My God, he's. You know how many rounds he trained prior to fighting Tyson Fury?
No.
600.
Jesus.
With 3 different training partners. So every dude came in every 3rd round. He had a fresh guy on him.
19 rounds a day, and he knew with himself that his back touched the ropes, he would have to do an extra round.
So that's one that I didn't hear that, but he said he would do rounds at all. He just had to bob between the teeth. And I'm like, okay. Like he's one of us. Like he just takes it to
what he did to Dubois. I was like, oh my God. Because when you see Dubois knocked out Joshua, you're like, wow, this kid might be. He's a fucking destroyer. He's seek and destroy, brutal power, giant guy, an incredible athlete, and Usyk all skill.
Like literally, like understanding he's not the biggest dude in the world.
No.
He's big, but he's not like 6'9", right?
No, he's not Tyson Fury
No,
size. He's not Dubois size.
He's not Dubois. He's
Not Tyson, Anthony Joshua.
None of them. No.
No, he's a cruiserweight.
Oh,
He's a cruiserweight that beat everybody and knew that the only way to make real money is to go up to heavyweight.
yeah.
And really leave a real legacy. Because he could have been one of those guys that retired as an undefeated cruiserweight, and boxing fans like myself would talk about him.
Hey, everybody.
Else would be like, who?
If you're watching, somebody
Now,
type to me.
He's in the conversation of one of the greatest.
I'll talk with you.
Sure.
Tyson, Ali.
I'm gonna get some
he's in there.
coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee talk
Just
on Pump Fun.
consistently an overachiever.
Coffee.
Consistently an overachiever.
And he's fucking 38.
Right? Which is even like
Crazy.
Look at this
Like,
athleticism,
any
Pump Fun.
slipping
Look
in
at
his
this.
skill level at all,
Skill
or
level.
his endurance, or his
Footwork.
enthusiasm, or his discipline. Just, well, also it's like he was so fortunate to have been trained by Lomachenko's dad.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's like a giant Lomachenko.
Oh my
Like,
god.
because
Yeah.
Lomachenko's so agile, so much footwork and movement.
And that makes sense.
He's basically like the heavyweight version of
Yeah. That makes actually more sense.
It makes more sense, right?
Yeah.
Because his move is such a big guy, it's just extraordinary. It just doesn't exist anywhere else because it's not after punches and then the shifting of the weight back to center when you don't expect it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that's like son. Actually, it's my son's birthday.
happy birthday. What's your name? Happy birthday, Bryce.
Yeah. 21. Right. It's a birthday to wait for, but he's already doing all this stuff. He's distracted, but so my son loves the science of boxing. You know, even 10 years ago when he was like 11, 12 years old, he'd be on YouTube watching the footwork of boxers. And I'm like, I didn't get into that science of it and footwork, and I started doing MMA. Like understanding, like I understood breath, just it's a whole nother complex set of skills.
Well, you were so deep in wrestling, though, it's almost impossible to pay attention to anything else. At the level you're competing at,
Yeah.
you have to. That has to be everything
Singular.
you eat, breathe, sleep.
Yeah.
It's
Singular.
Like, it
Yeah.
has to be singular.
Yeah.
It has to be. It's almost like you can't
Well,
go down rabbit holes.
no, it's one of those where my mentor, the guy that really brought me to another level, is a guy named Chris Campbell. He was Dan Gable's first NCAA champ when Dan Gable was coach at Iowa. He made the 1980 Olympic team that was boycotted, won the 1981 World Championships, go to best technician in the world, and then retires. And then decides he's going to make the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona. So he's at 37 years old. He wins a bronze medal that year.
Oh, that's unheard of.
It's, I think, still to this day, he's the oldest Olympic medal demanding.
It's such a
physically.
young sport.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. So he ends up just really taking me by the hand and understanding like singular devotion to something. He would back then he did tape study, which wasn't a huge deal, but literally watching the Russians wrestle in some of the tapes, his nemesis was this guy Kadartsev. And you look and watch the tapes and go, I don't see anything. Once you slowed it down, you go, you can't move him out of position. He doesn't, when he attacks and retreats, he's never out of position. And you look at him and go, wow. Because it was just these little things.
It's so amazing the Russians achieved that level in not just wrestling, combat sports, boxing, Russian kickboxing, known for being so technical. It's really interesting, you know.
And again, I would think that somewhere in there, there's a root, there's a common, like there's coaches and mentors. Because the only way I've learned how to wrestle or MMA is through mentorship. You know, somebody really going, hey, let me show you. And they had a mentor, and they had a mentor. It's this lineage that's passed along. And I know I went from being a good wrestler to being a really good wrestler when Chris took me under his wing. You know, we would drill the same thing thousands of times, and it would be like the difference between holding my hand here and holding it here. And I'd go, it's 2 inches.
Right.
What's it? And he'd go, when you full speed, those 2 inches become 6, right? And
The
so,
leverage points.
yeah, and so I need him to be here, perfect. Because once you go full speed, you're going to miss it, but you're only going to miss it by this much.
You know, it's interesting that George St. Pierre, although he never wrestled in high school or college, his training in Montreal was with Russian wrestlers. It was all Russian nationals who had moved to Canada. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
GSP, I was just talking to a friend of mine, and I said he's probably, in my book, 1 or 2.
Yeah, of all time.
Yeah.
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 He's certainly in the conversation. It's so hard to say who because, you know, Mighty Mouse, I think, never got the credit that he deserved.
Yeah.
He was a 125er. And then people forget how good Anderson was when he was in his
Oh,
prime.
my God.
People, and then BJ Penn when he was in his prime. I feel like you really have to look at a guy when he's redlining, like when he's really at the peak of his
What he is,
abilities.
yeah.
You can't judge him by the fights they fight after their prime.
Yeah.
You can't, because it's not fair. You're just gonna say like who champion when they were running shit.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
exhibited a level of MMA that's above and beyond everyone else? And George is certainly in that conversation.
Oh, he's for sure. I mean, part of that, like Johnny Jones, right? Like when you get somebody that's at that level at his peak, right? And he can make other professional fighters look like they're amateurs.
They look silly.
Yeah.
They don't belong in there. And he was doing that to guys when he wasn't training. That was crazy.
Crazy.
He was fucking off and barely in the gym and still dominating in world title fights.
Sometimes I get a little upset because I'm like, you know how many fights he probably rocked as a spectator, as a fan? Like how many fights we missed because of
The shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like,
But it's also, I mean, you know, what happened with you and what happened with him and what happens with a lot of guys, it's like the pressure of life sometimes. And what makes you a great fighter in the first place, there's a certain wildness.
Yeah.
And with a guy like John, that wildness, it's like it's hard to keep on a leash.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know how that feels.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I remember I had no idea, and I don't think anybody had any idea until the Smashing Machine documentary came out. And when that documentary came out, everybody was like, holy shit. First of all, kudos to you for allowing people to you like that, raw, completely honest about all of the addiction problems, everything, and no one would have expected it. When they saw you, they just saw this fucking dominant destroyer, this guy who was like smashing everybody, and you just thought, oh, well, that guy is just, he's just a machine and so mentally strong, and he just gets out there and gets it done. And you allowed them to show you where, in the making of the documentary, was what they were essentially trying to capture was you at your prime.
Yeah.
And what they caught you was you where your life was falling apart, just fortuitously.
Yeah.
It was just
Oh,
kind of random luck they caught you at that time.
So when John Greenholm, who's a producer, I went to Syracuse with him. He's the one that called me. He said, "Hey, I want to do a documentary." My vision of what it was a little Best Buy camera where there's like a little flip screen and they show up and they go, "Okay, we're filming your documentary. I gotta change tape, you know." And they show up in Japan for my Volchanchin fight with 10,000, 15,000, whatever they were, digital Sony cameras, a boom mic, and like 5 people. I'm like, oh fuck, you're like, you're really gonna make it, like you're gonna make a documentary. And so he was right from the get-go. John could see what was the contrast, like me as a fighter and me as a person, that contrast. And so that's what he was after. It's like just contrast, and like you could do this living and be this kind, sensitive, you know.
But that was what was weird about you. It was a very weird contrast.
Yeah.
You're very soft-spoken, very kind, always very considerate to people, very nice. And then you get into the cage, and it's like, who the fuck is that guy?
you know what the feeling is? The feeling is like, the question I always had in my head is going, okay, if somebody's going to go you, me, in a room, who the fuck's coming out? And I never was able to answer that question for myself. I know it's competitive, right? But I didn't know if I had that switch, that thing, and then start fighting and going, oh fuck, man, there's a switch in there. And I figured through that process, what I was really trying to get is your will. I was trying to take your fucking will. And most people don't want to give it.
Right.
Like when you get a high level fighter, it's like Fabio Gugel didn't want to give me his will. Headbutted him, dug into cuts, did all this, beat him mercilessly, and he didn't want to give me his will. He wouldn't give it to me. And it frustrated me. I didn't know how to take it from him. I'm out of answers.
You're waiting for him to break.
Yeah,
He doesn't break.
he doesn't break.
Yeah. Some people don't break. You could break their body.
And I had lunch at his house.
Wow.
Which was crazy because my first fights, don't know. Everybody in the audience was there. And when his wife calls me the next day, I literally go, oh, fuck. And here it is. He's going to have all his boys. He's going to fucking get his due. Right. And so I go, okay, what do I got to lose? And so I go up and we sit down just like we're sitting here. And his wife interprets the whole entire time. And it was actually beautiful. It was beautiful. Because
That's awesome.
Here's what it set for me. It set a standard of how I was going to carry myself as a fighter. What happened in the ring is in the ring.
Right.
The second you can, that's different.
Well, that speaks to his character, why you couldn't break his will in the first place,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Because he's such just locked down. Yeah.
Absolutely. For me, it was one of those like revelations of like, okay, this is how you do this
As a professional.
Yeah.
Well, also like Brazil had a much longer history of these kind of fights, like going way back to the Helio Gracie days. And,
Yeah. This is culturally understanding is way different. And that's like okay, I'm going to carry myself. Part of it was, I wanted to change the narrative of, like, when you looked at the early UFC, it looked like some guy stole and thrown into the octagon, right? So when I came there, I was like, okay, I want to be considered professional, right? I want to carry myself as a professional. I'm going to be articulate. I'm going to dress as a professional. I wanted to up the ante. I wanted to raise the standard, right? Especially when I went to Japan, it's like, press conference, everybody's in sweatsuits. I'm in can afford it, but I was in $1,000 on the charge card, right? The narrative. I wanted to be a professional. Because if I was a professional, treated like a professional, I could ask for pay like a professional. Not like some dude that was just scraped off a bar stool and thrown into it.
So what was the Pride experience like? So you fought in the UFC, and then did you have a contract that expired? Like, what happened?
So, oh boy, so I signed a 3-fight tournament deal with the UFC. I did 14 and 15, and I still had one tournament obligation on the contract. So after 15, the Japanese had seen enough footage, and I got contacted by Pride. They're like, "Hey, we want to fly you over. We want to have you as a key piece to build this organization." So I'm like, okay. So they fly me first class over, first class hotel. I meet with a guy named Mr. Ishishaka, who is really name's Kim Duk-soo. He's a Korean guy. And K1.
Wait a minute, a crew was pretending to be Japanese?
You had to have a Japanese name.
Whoa.
You couldn't do business in Japan without a Japanese name.
That's crazy.
So he signed all of his documents, legal documents, Kim Duk-soo, Mr. Ishishaka.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Japanese.
Yeah. So the culture back then it was still stuck. It hadn't really progressed.
Wow.
So Mr. Ishii owned K1 and Mr. Ishishaka started Pride. And it was called KRS at the beginning before turning into Dream Stage.
Oh.
And so here's where it gets a little sticky. So I go over there, I take for Pride 2, it's supposed to be me and Hoist Gracie. Him and I, there's still fight posters that are signed of him and I facing off with each other, signed the contract to fight for way more money than was being paid for in the UFC. And when I get back to the States, I get papers to appear in Court City of the UFC suing me. It's when Bob Mike still owned it, and our date was involved. And so they were suing me for breach of contract. And it was like one of those things where I was like, like one of those experiences where I was like, oh shit. And the Japanese said, okay, we still want you. You need to sort this out. So it took 4 months, 5 months to sort out the differences between what the UFC needed and if they're going to let me go and all this other stuff. In that time frame, Hoist got hurt. And so Hoist had to step out, and they put Bronco. Would have been like thinking about it, going, because people have asked, like, I'm like, I don't fucking know, but I would have given it every single thing I could. Wow. That's it. That's the poster.
Wow.
Yeah. Signed, inked, everything.
You had at least 80 pounds on him.
Oh, at least that.
Yeah.
But this is it. This is the transition from not knowing what I was getting into, going, I can't fucking carry that much weight at all and be cardiovascularly. I just can't.
What were you at your heaviest?
280, 285.
Jeez.
Like 6% body fat.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's hard to breathe.
Brutal. But if I didn't fucking get a hold of you and fucking squeeze the life out of you in the first couple minutes, I was fucked. I was completely fucked.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of the case with Coleman as well. When he was really, really big.
I was in the corner when he lost. When I was cornering him when he lost to Maurice Smith.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I was there for that one. That was a real game changer.
Oh, that changed the narrative for everything.
Because what Maurice brought to the game was Maurice was trained with Frank Shamrock at the time, and so he had extreme cardio. He was doing a lot of swimming. He was running hills. I mean, he was really cardiovascularly at an elite level for an MMA fighter at the time.
Frank and I used to talk about heart rate training way back when, like literally like functional training, and going, okay, how do you approach something and come up with a formula where you can get through a training camp and still be viable at the end of that training camp when you have 5-minute rounds. Right? How do you do it? There wasn't a formula for it.
Right.
So Frank was like, I started doing this heart rate training and heart rate recovery and all this stuff. And I was like, oh shit. And then I run into these trainers when I was in California at Gold's Venice. There's a guy named T.R. Goodman, and he was training hockey players. And hockey players have to have that burst recovery. Wow. Very similar cardiovascular system to fighters. So TR took over my training when I was in California, and that was a whole nother level because I never really had the functional training implemented the way he did. And that's when my weight came down. It's like I really tried to fight between like 235 and 240 was ideal.
Yeah, that's much better. That seems like the ideal heavyweight.
It is.
It's very weird that, first of all, that the heavyweight division has a weight limit.
Yeah.
That is
oh
weird.
My God, it's really weird.
Especially the UFC. Because it doesn't really in Japan and some other organizations. They allow the super heavyweight division. And in boxing, you can be as heavy as you want. Tyson Fury's been 290 before. But when the UFC has this 265-pound weight division, it seems like the best elite guys are like that 240 range.
For me, that was like I knew I had a good training camp if I came in 235, 240. If I didn't train hard enough, I was 250. If I overtrained, I was under 230. Like for Pride Grand Prix, I think I weighed in at 229. Because right before that, I felt overtrained because in between when I fought Ensign and the Pride Grand Prix, I did Abu Dhabi.
Oh.
And so I won my weight class that year, and I won the all around.
So you got super conditioned.
Oh
for
my
that.
God, super conditioned. But you lose. I lost a love. What I needed was that.
Mhm.
You know, I could have the endurance, but again, it's those words like going into it when I fought. There's so many factors that were just, you know, that I didn't. And my calorie intake just wasn't where it needed to be, and like a lot of times leading up to a fight, like my appetite just diminishes as I get towards it, especially that fight week. And
That's interesting. Why do you think that is?
nerves.
Right.
It gets to a point where it's like that morning, I know, like fight morning, I have a small little window where I can digest food, or I can take food in. It's not like I can sit and eat all day.
And then the nerves start kicking
Yeah,
in.
it just starts kicking in like it's controlled focus, right? Because it's like everywhere, but it's controlled focus. But that controlled focus.
Yeah, a lot of guys have made that. Aljamain Sterling said he made that mistake when he first fought Piotr Yanich.
It's brutal. So that last scene against Fujita is 100% hypoglycemic crash, laying there, can't move my body. And if you watch the documentary, what I'm saying on the way back is, I need sugar, I need sugar, I need sugar. That's all I could think about was like, I need sugar, I need sugar, I need sugar. Because my blood sugar levels had just crashed to this, like, I can't fucking move.
Jeez. It was so crazy, too, to watch the evolution of the training methods from back then, from 97, to like what we're seeing today.
Yeah, incredible.
It is really extraordinary because there's not another sport that has gone through that much of a metamorphosis. Not even close, really.
In that time frame, because it's a short time frame. Because again, it's asking the question of like, okay, championship fight, 25 minutes, 5-minute rounds. How do you train for it?
Right. Because the reality is, no one can go full blast for 5-minute rounds.
You can't do it. Maybe we can.
I wouldn't fuck it out. He might be the only guy because he doesn't seem to get tired.
So this is like observationally. Usually in a championship fight, if it's a striker against a wrestler, usually the first 2 rounds, strikers usually have that advantage. In the third round, if you go back and watch this third round, the grappler starts to impose a little bit more on it.
Right.
And then fourth and fifth round is the grappler completely just takes that fight over because it's one of those things where it's that grind.
Yes.
It's
also a
fucking
big
grind.
part of being able to stuff takedowns.
Yeah.
A big part of being able to stuff takedowns is having energy.
Oh my God, it's
like,
everything.
If a guy's trying to fuck you up and take you down, there's so much energy involved in trying to stuff a takedown. And then when you don't have it, you're like, I'm just letting it take me down. I'll just like take a break here and then work back to the. But no, like some guys, like you're not getting back up.
No.
You get elbowed in the face.
I'm just gonna grind you into a pulp, and that's that control thing, right?
Yeah.
Part of what I go, like if I look at my fighting, going, I was never gonna be the best striker, like never gonna be the best kicker, but if I could turn you into a wrestler, that was the secret sauce for me.
Yeah.
I just need to make you wrestle me.
Yeah.
And I'm good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I know I can fucking beat the fuck out of you wrestling.
Yeah.
The key was transitioning to make you wrestle me.
Yeah, it's the specialist thing. It's like if you want to be a specialist, being a specialist at wrestling is by far. Well, when you see what Hamza did to Drek is.
Oh my
Well,
God,
like-
Hamza, that's the example.
Yeah.
Like that's
Perfect.
elite wrestler.
Against a world champion MMA fighter who's been dominating everybody and who's very difficult to take down. And Hamza just ramped it up, kept
Attack, insane. That Russian, Dagestan, Uzbekistan, it's this ability to sustain and attack repeatedly. Because it's that cardiovascular system, born at 6,000 feet in altitude, 7,000 feet in altitude, a little bit more of an advantage, right? And so you end up with these attacks where you can sustain them beyond your ability to defend them.
It's also having such a technical game that as you're implementing the first attack, you've already got 3 attacks on standby. Like, and then as he counters, you've anticipated the counter. You have a counter to his counter, and then a counter to his readjusting after your counter. You're just hitting them over and over. You just can't keep the rhythm.
I text my son. I was at that fight. I text my son and go, "This is what an elite wrestler could do to a professional fighter."
It's nuts. It's nuts because it was like a lot of people thought it was boring because it didn't get to a decision. It just went to a decision. But you just gotta appreciate that level of dominance against a world champion. It's kind of crazy. Where the guy before the fight, Dricus, was being looked at as one of the greatest middleweights of all time. I mean, look at what he did to all these guys. He knocks out Robert Whittaker. He beats Adesanya. He fucking beats Sean Strickland twice. Like, oh my God, he might be one of the greatest of all time. And then after that, I don't think he's ever going to beat that guy.
Isn't that crazy?
It was like, I don't think there's enough time in the world to bridge that gap.
You can't. You can never catch up.
Yeah.
You know, like I would never pretend stepping into the octagon that I would be able to get elite striking skills, right? You know, it's like that gap can it's constantly just something you never can get to.
It's also,
you know, it's like Sean O'Malley, right? The only way that he's gonna be able to get back is somebody else.
So there's just like all of that's happening.
Barab.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna be stylistically
matchup, right? That's that conflict of matchup. The skills you're not gonna do.
You know, he got better for the second fight.
He did a lot better, but still.
So did Barab, though. That was part of the problem. That guy's he's not stopping.
So there's just like all of that's happening.
He's
And then we get to just what the job, right? Like, which is performing, speaking in front of strangers. Like, you just see this thing with Charlie Kirk.
So he's in his prime right now. In his prime for another few years.
Yeah, I would think that it's one where there's going to be a lot of people that can get in, but that's just a different animal.
Yeah, it's going to take someone who's that kind of a wrestler who maybe has a striking advantage.
Yeah.
But then,
that's an anomaly.
It's such a crazy sport to watch that, from 1994 to 2025, it's almost unrecognizable. The difference in the gap.
Because I think
like there was a period of time where I couldn't watch. I didn't watch because it probably about like 7 or 9 years. And over the last 5-6 years, I watched it religiously, right? And just realizing the fighters today, oh my God, man. They should have level. It's that like this first generation, second generation, and they're advancing so fast that you're looking at.
So someone just like you just don't know what stress you're going anyway. So anyway, we get to the shows, right?
Incredible.
It's
any other sports.
There's a lot of like.
And it's also you're really fighting 3 different sports. That's one sport.
Yeah,
which is really nuts. You're fighting grappling, you're fighting jiu-jitsu, and you're fighting striking all together in one sport.
Wow. It's like playing soccer, football, and baseball at the same time. How the fuck would you do?
Yeah. While getting kicked. Elbows. It is, but without guys like you, it would have never gotten there. Because if there weren't people that were willing to fight for very little money, travel overseas, have these crazy events, and beat your body up and do what you did, and what Coleman did, a lot of those guys did the same. Without you guys, there is no UFC today. It's just not the same.
It was, one, like being in the Hall of Fame and being in the Pioneer League. And understanding that,
excessively rapid thought and speech.
Like I say to myself, even if I advance sports,
so I think I started to feel kind of mildly medic. I think it was just being on medication. I think
where it is today, right?
It wasn't little things like the second I got on
Well,
stage.
you guys' raw new element was elite wrestling with enormous muscles.
Yeah.
And and especially in the early days, because Coleman would get under your guard and just headbutt the fuck out of you. His headbutts were legal. Yeah, legal. And bare knuckle. Like when I first did I interviewed him after he did total bare knuckle. He had a little bit of tape on the hand. Yeah, that was it.
Wild. Like people can this film, right? It it
The
gives
second half of
people
the first
a
show,
little bit of a look inside of
there
like
were
what
some
it was.
beats that I got that had
And-
like an emotional piece to them that I
You
wanted.
know, for
And it
me,
felt exciting.
the
But the whole show,
the
it
cool
was,
part about
there
it is
were parts
understanding,
where I
like,
just
I'm,
couldn't
like I said,
remember the next thing. I
little
couldn't
piece.
remember like
But that little piece is necessary
I
to
was
be
having
able
trouble
for
just
me to
keeping track
watch
of
some of the guys do what they do now.
That's when I really was.
Well, it's different than any other sport in that
I'm
these
just off
little
to-
pieces had to be there before people could figure out what to do.
Yeah. Well,
And
they
they
put them all together.
just off to-
Yeah.
You know, when I actually talked to him when I was in Newark, that's one thing I said. I said, look what you built.
I think I remember saying to the audience,
You
like,
can feel however you want about
thank you guys just for being
first.
here
I
for
think look
me,
what
you
you
know,
built.
like,
Like no one can even imagine.
Well, you have to be able to do what he does. Like, he works so hard and gives so many hours and he fucking loves it. He loves the sport. Like, truly loves the sport. He and I have, like, long conversations on the phone.
I would imagine.
About fighting.
I would imagine.
Just about, like, I'll go, what are you going to do about this guy? Oh,
that's the Chris Brooks
when's this happening? You know, is this true? Did this guy really get hurt? Yeah, fuck.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
tell it's minor.
It's
Okay,
almost like
6 weeks, rescheduling it. Okay.
somebody
Yeah,
that was
you know,
good
we
in
have
class
these
and they
long
did a
ass
good job.
conversations, and I'll tell him about kickboxing that I've been watching, or tell him about these guys. I mean, that's one of the ways that we became friends. And one of the ways that I started working for him in the first
So
place.
being him, and it kind of
We would
like
have conversations when I first met him when I was on Fear Factor. I wasn't even working for the UFC. And Valley Tudo, do you know about this guy? Do you know about Dick Gracie? Do you know about this guy?
Yeah.
And I would just rattle off different names, and he was like,
And so I went into the second show feeling
how
like,
do you know all this? Like, I don't know. I didn't even know the rules of basketball. I don't know what's happening. I know when the ball goes in the net, it's good. I don't know the rules to football. I don't know the rules to anything.
Exactly.
I only have room for combat sports. But, ask me about Marcelo Garcia. Ask me about.
I can answer
I'll
those.
rattle off
Yeah.
some stats. I know some shit about fighting. But to me, it was like Eddie Bravo and I, when we were kids, when we were young fellas, when we were hanging around, working out, we would say to ourselves, like, you know what this sport needs? Some crazy billionaires who love the sport who's going to dump a bunch of money. Because we knew at the time, we were like, this is the most exciting sport in the world, right? So all it needs is for these really rich guys to fancy sport. And it's almost like it manifested itself, because that's what happened. The Fertittas came along, and they were just really rich guys who loved the sport, and they took a crazy chance. They were $40 million in the hole.
Yeah.
$40 million in the hole on the UFC, and it was just losing money, and they just hung in there year after year after year until they were almost ready to fucking sell, and they decided to go forward with the Ultimate Fighter.
That's the game changer.
That was it.
That
2005.
personalized it.
Yeah.
That's personalized.
Well, people got to see it on Spike TV, and then it became the fights were so wild that people were calling their friends. And they were saying, you gotta watch this. So after the show is on, and this is like before social media really
all
had
that,
that.
yeah.
So as the fight was on, the ratings kept going up and up and up and up. And it was like, Spike TV was like, holy shit, we got a fucking hit. We got a hit.
Yeah.
And Diego Sanchez won the 185-pound division, and then the fight between Stephen Bonner and Forrest Griffin.
That's the fight that changed everything.
Changed the game.
Because that's the marginal fans. They'll refer to that. They'll refer to that.
Because at the time, it was, nobody had ever seen anything like it. They didn't know what MMA was. And here it is, you guys were so evenly matched. That was the best part about it. They both had trained together in the house for all those fucking weeks. They'd all be talking shit to each other and they knew they were going to fight in the finals. So it was like this long build up, and they were perfectly matched.
Yeah.
And it was just bang, 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 fucking swings, heel kicks, pound, and I mean, there's so much shit in there. And that fight just went on and on, and at the end, it was the whole crowd. And, I was the one. I was the first person to suggest. I was like, they both should have a fucking contract. This is crazy. You can't take a contract away from one of these guys for this fight. And Dana, to his credit, gave both those guys the contract.
Yeah.
And it was all of a sudden the sport was hot. And then Chuck Liddell was the poster boy.
Yeah.
Because he was the perfect guy to be the most famous champion at the time, because he was a destroyer.
Oh,
He just seek and destroy. And he had an iron chin, and he would just stare at you with a fucking serial killer's eyes, and just
You know what? watched him, like me watching him, he was so awkward when he held his hands and punched. It was so, like even watching now, it's going, he was just hunting. He was just hunting.
Yeah.
And hunting.
And loading up
and
with
he would
everything.
hunt, and it wasn't like,
No.
it was every single thing was thrown with intent.
Yeah, everything was thrown to shut you off.
Oh.
And he could do it, and he could do it for 5 fucking rounds too, which is crazy.
Which is,
And his the thing about that style is it's unsustainable. He never ducked a punch in his life. He took a burn and and blasted right through. He had an iron jaw. It was fucking iron.
Yeah.
But everybody's iron jaw gives out after a while.
It just
You can't, and he trains that way
you
too.
can't sustain it. It's just one where,
Yeah.
so when the Fertittas first bought the UFC, I was living in California, and a friend of mine who was helping me at the time said, hey, listen, they're up at Big Bear having a training camp. I'm like, okay, let's go up. So get my truck, drive up. It starts snowing. It was like February. They were going to do their first big push with Tito, right? And I get hit by a drunk driver at 11 a.m. in the morning.
Oh,
on
my
the way
God.
up. So my attorney was in the car with us. He literally, the tow truck takes us up to the top of the hill. I still get to talk to Dana. I still get to talk to Frank and Lorenzo. And like, yeah, I got hit by a drunk driver. I was like, well, we're going to Beverly Hills Wilshire tomorrow. Why don't you just jump in the limo with us and we'll take you down? I'm like, okay. So I get like this 3-hour drive down the mountain with Frank and Lorenzo, the new owners of the UFC.
Wow.
And we're just sitting there talking. They're like, hey, how is it working in Japan? They knew everything about me. How is it working in Japan? How do they do this? How did they do that? And it was just this really cool conversation, really cool experience to be able to go, okay, maybe this has landed in the right spot.
Oh, they were the right guys. They were the right guys because they were like Frank and Lorenzo are rabid fans.
Yeah.
Like, rabid.
Yeah.
And they would train and they would beat the fuck out of each other. And that's where they met Frank. They brought Frank in to help them. They've kind of erased Frank. So Frank Shamrock, in my opinion, is one of the all-time greats. And also one of the most important in terms of the metamorphosis, in terms of the evolution of the sport. Because Frank was the first guy with elite cardio that could do everything. He could submit you off his back. Like, remember when he fought Kevin Jackson?
Yep.
Caught him in an armbar, bang, first round, right off his. He was elite everywhere, and his cardio was off the charts. When he fought Tito Ortiz, Tito was much bigger than him. Yeah. Not just a little bit bigger than him. But Frank's not a big frame guy. No. And Tito is a fucking house. Right? Yeah. And he just overwhelmed him. Tito fought everybody. Cardio is number one. It's number one. Yeah. When he was coaching on The Ultimate Fighter, he told everybody, it's fucking cardio. Yeah. Without cardio, you have nothing. And his cardio was legendary, too.
I mean, they say fatigue makes cowards of us all,
yeah.
Right?
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
I mean, it's just one of those, and again, this goes back to what I was saying about Frank, and I had conversations back then about heart rate, like little polar, watch and, keep and like, oh, we need to recover this many beats in a minute, but actively recover, right? Like, still continue to do shit and recover. And this is what Frank was saying. Yeah, I started doing this. I'm like, what the fuck?
He was a very smart, he is very smart guy.
Yeah.
And I don't have some kind of a falling out, but they don't highlight him anymore. They don't talk about him at all. And I think that's pivotal. I think you got to let that go. Just for the honor of what happened, the honor of the sport. Because for the honor of the sport, when you look Frank, like when you look at his fights, like he was elite, man. He was
ahead of his time. He was ahead of his time by far.
He was the first really, truly complete mixed martial artist.
I agree.
And people see him like the fight that he fought when he was fighting in Strikeforce. You're not seeing the same guy. You're seeing him, it's later in his life. You see when he fought Nick Diaz. He can't, it's like what I said about GOATs. Yeah. You want to look at BJ Penn? Look at BJ Penn when he fought Sean Sherk. Yeah. Look at BJ Penn when he fought Big Daddy Stevenson. That's one of the scariest fucking guys who's ever stepped in an octagon at 155 pounds, period. I've put him with all of them, and I don't know what happens. And there's Khabib. Same
You put that guy with any 155-pounder who's ever existed, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
How are you going to beat that guy?
Yeah.
You know, there's a few guys like that, and Khabib has to be in that conversation too. When you look at his dominance over, like, the way he was winning fights, I'll never forget when he fought Edson Barboza. It was in the first round, and Edson had this look in his eyes like, oh my God, I've got to give him more rounds with this motherfucker. Because he was just already exhausted, and this fucking animal from Dagestan was just on him, dragging him to the ground.
Man.
I'll never forget. We had Michael Johnson down the ground. He's beating Michael Johnson up, and he's like, quit. You know I need title shot is mine. You know title shot is mine. You know I deserve it. Quit. And he's just beating the fuck out of him, trying to be nice. He gets him in. Please tap. I'm like, please tap, because I'm seeing that spiral fracture. When they get that spiral fracture, I'm seeing it coming. I'm like, please tap. Please. We've already been through that with Frank. When Frank got Minotauro in there.
Yeah,
Here it is. He's talking to me. He's like, listen, give me some volume. I need to fight for the title. You know I deserve this. Come on, buddy. I don't want to have to hurt you.
Oh my God.
Look at this. I mean, he's doing whatever. But this speaks to your point. I need to fight for it. Look at these. He's trying to be nice to him. That's such dominance.
It is.
Trying to be nice to a nice guy. Like, come on, you know what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And again, to his credit, he didn't. I think he could have just fucking ripped that arm apart. He let him tap. I think he was so dominant.
This is like, again, we're seeing it, like taking somebody's fucking will.
Taking it. He was a will taker. Like when he did the Connor, when he got on top of Connor, he's like, let's talk now. Just beating his face in. Going, come on, you want to talk? Let's talk now.
You talk about humble pie, like you fucking having to sit back and like, because that's at a level where because you're a bad motherfucker to begin with, and somebody that's even a badder motherfucker
just dominates you.
Just, oh my God,
just could kill you. Same size as you, and basically he could kill you. If he wanted to, you're dead.
Yeah.
You're not going to live. He's going to live.
He could just literally choke you unconscious.
Yeah.
And just keep choking you till
He was going to break his neck. He had him in that fulcrum choke. That is such a nasty choke. Look, here's where he gets it. So he's getting it, and he's holding on to it. Look. He's not going all through.
No,
if he wanted to, he
could have just
dropped that right hip down, pull that left arm up, and that thing's snapping like a twig. It's so scary. That's my scariest type. Other than guys when they break their shins.
Yeah.
When they go shin to knee and the shin snaps in half.
Like Silva breaking.
Oh, it's horrible. Weidman was the worst.
That stuff. One watch is good enough.
It was so when Weidman was so loud. And Weidman, don't pull that one. Weidman's went through his calf. His bone snapped through and poked out of his calf. Oh, which is real dangerous too, because then you run the risk of heavy infection.
Yeah, all of that.
You're on the dirty mat. You got an open wound, and
no, some of that stuff is just. It's other level.
Do you feel weird that you did it? Not even removed for so long. You're like, you beat the fuck out of somebody too. I remember took Dan Bobish down. Stuck your chin in his eye.
God, man! First, the only one still like chin and eyeball choke.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's called choke.
I never.
You know what? It was illegal.
It wasn't illegal,
and I know it hurt like a motherfucker. For him.
Why would it be illegal? Why is it okay to elbow the eyeball? But it's not okay to shove your chin in there.
I don't know.
You know, that was in the headbutt days. Headbutts were legal, so why wouldn't it be legal?
Yeah.
You could chin butt a guy if you wanted to, I guess.
Yeah.
So if you use, but the thing is, it's a real weapon.
Yeah.
It is real. It's very effective. Like, I don't think we should poke the eyes because, the eyes are so vulnerable, but that is also obviously a real weapon. Like, Kung Fu guys point out. Look, these guys are the toughest fighters in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know how good you are at eye poking.
Yeah.
You shove your fucking chin right in his eyeball.
He's just like,
bro.
And I know, so when I'm down there, I get.
Oh, it was horrible, dude. It was horrible. But it speaks to what we were talking about, the dominance of elite wrestling, and how elite wrestling, it surpasses all martial arts. It's the number one most, and an elite wrestler can learn jiu-jitsu. Okay, an elite grappler you could easily teach them how to do head and arm chokes, triangles, all that. That's not, you're already used to manipulating bodies.
So part of my participation in ADCC was to represent wrestling. Right?
Yeah.
Because the first year when I got approached to go over there, I'm like, what is that? Like submission grappling, like Gila's grappling, Gila's jiu-jitsu.
Right.
They're like, hey, listen, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give you X, come over. And it wasn't a ton. It was like $15,000 to go over. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right. I was like, fuck, I don't know.
But while you were fighting.
Yeah, while I was fighting. And so I'm like, okay. I just go.
Just as a sort of surprise.
It was one of those where I was like, okay, now that it's explained to me, I go, well, wrestlers need to be represented there, right?
Yes.
And so I go over there, and it was one of those things where it's like, well, I can actually show everybody here in this world that thinks their shit's dominant. Like, no, this is a skill set. You need elite wrestling skills, right? You can have jiu-jitsu, black belt, and all this stuff, but if you're missing this piece component to it, you're fucked.
You're fucked.
And so it was all about control.
Did you see the most recent fight with Mauricio Rufy?
No.
Okay, so Mauricio Rufy, who is one of the most dynamic strikers in sport, he's literally like a big Conor. I mean, it doesn't make sense that he's in the same weight class as Conor because I think he's 6'1". No, but he's real tall. He's at least 6 feet tall. He's real tall and long and just elite striker. But he fought this cat, Benoit Saint-Denis, who is judo black belt, elite on the ground, super fucking strong, and he just dominated him, man. He got a hold of him, ragdolled him, got him to the ground. And Mauricio had his moments in the fight standing because Benoit Saint-Denis is a French Special Forces guy. He's a hard motherfucker. Yeah. And so he did stand with Mauricio for a little bit, but he got dinged up a little bit. But once he got him to the ground, it was just full domination. And then it left everybody in this position where we were looking at Mauricio Rufy as being like, that guy's a future world champion. Yeah. So like, oh no, like that gap's too wide. Yeah. Like he's got to learn so much to be competitive with you. Now they're gonna know. Yeah. Imagine like Kamaru in his prime. No, you know?
Yeah. And that's that gap we were talking about. Like, there's no way to fucking make that up. There's not enough time in your career.
Well, we got to see that. Kamaru was like 38 now, okay, and he just fought Joaquin Buckley and dominated. And Buckley's another one who is this guy who is dominating everybody at 170. We just knocked out Wonder Boy. We're like, this fucking guy might be the one. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, 38-year-old Kamaru Usman shows how fucking important wrestling is. It's everything. It's everything. Because you can be defensively responsible. Like he's very defensively responsible standing. You know, other than the Leon Edwards kick, he very rarely gets cracked. Yeah. You know, Gilbert got him a little and dropped him, but very rarely gets in trouble standing. But once he gets you, the gap is so big. You can't make the gap's so big.
Yeah, that's and again, this is one of these things where fundamentally also wrestling gives you a cardio base that you could build off of.
Yeah.
Not only because that's the other missing component, right? It's like this. Because at an elite level, it's fucking intense. It is really intense. Like Kurt, when he was on your show, he's talking about, I trained till exhaustion and then I trained. Yeah. It's like that's how he, because at one point when Kurt and I were competing against each other, like 93, 94, I just was bigger, stronger, and I could just defend his attacks.
But you won the Olympics with a broken neck.
Fuck, man.
With a broken neck.
Come on.
With a broken neck.
I was there at Nationals when he literally hit the mat, and I'm like literally I watched when his neck broke at Freestyle Nationals. And he got hit with an arm spin, and he gets arm thrown, and his head gets almost like separated. Ugh, it was nasty. And I'm in the stands going, oh, fuck, he's not going to be in the trials. Like, there's no fucking way he's going to be in the trials. And sure enough, fucking like 5 weeks later, he's in the trials. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? There's no way he should be fucking able to wrestle.
There are guys like that in the world. and people need to know. You need to know there's levels to everything. And there's levels to mental strength. There's levels to guys who just will go, and it's really kind of a crying shame. But look, he had an amazing career in WWE. He's loved by everyone. Everybody loves him. That's great. But it's kind of sucks that people don't know, like, at real wrestling. That guy was the shit.
God,
he was the shit. He was
unreal,
so good and small for a heavyweight.
He was so he was always undersized.
Yeah.
But like the years that I beat him, and then '95 when we wrestled in the Freestyle Nationals, and I beat him four times in a row at that point. So we wrestled in the '95 Freestyle Nationals, and I get a hold of him for the first time, and something was different. I was like, oh fuck, like wrestling going, oh man, something's different with Kurt, and he ends up beating me, and then in the Freestyle Nationals in '95, and I'm like, oh fuck, there was just something different. I'm like, because he could stay on an attack longer, He was stronger. He hit a gear that I didn't fucking have. Wow. Like I go, oh fuck. Like looking back on it, I'm going, oh shit, I totally missed that. Like most guys at 220 pounds, which you're wrestling at, they would have these attacks that they would initiate. It's like grab a hold of you, hold on to you, and then initiate an attack. Kurt was constantly probing and attacking.
Which was the benefit of being lighter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And lighter and quicker.
But still wicked strong.
Oh my God, he could still get in. So it's these attacks that he just sustained, and he just wear you out of position. So just constant attack. And all of a sudden it was just this little angle that he was hunting for the whole time. And then he hits that attack and fucking takes you down. You're like, fuck. Like, what the fuck?
It's just, there's levels of drive. There's levels of discipline. There's levels of will. There's levels of wanting something. And that's what scares people, I think. That's why people get really terrified of like truly special athletes. Because they don't want to know how lazy they really are. I think it's one of the things that drives people nuts about seeing like some insanely disciplined, like elite top of the food chain grappler or striker or whatever it is, MMA fighter, because it's like you don't want to know that someone's willing to work that much harder than you are. Did you ever have? Did you ever have at anything?
I know.
At anything.
Kurt was one of the where he opened my eyes. I was like, fuck, there's another gear.
Yeah.
I thought I was training fucking hard.
That's what's crazy. We're kind of seeing, we've had this conversation recently in regards to Marab, because we're saying, okay, is Marab just physically gifted? Because I think Kane had some sort of a genetic advantage with cardio. Because DC would talk about how he would take 3 months off and come back in the gym and fuck everybody up with like cardio.
Somebody
drills.
That size, it's an anomaly.
It's an anomaly.
It's an anomaly.
But Marab swears that when he was young, he had bad cardio. He said, "No, I smoked cigarettes." I can imagine. It's what he said.
Like Sakuraba smoking cigarettes.
He said he didn't take care of himself at all. I'm like, really? And it's just hard work and discipline. And then, so I have a bunch of friends who do 100-milers. Real good friends with my friend Cam Haynes. And Cam Haynes, he just did 100-miler like 2 weeks before we went elk hunting. Like he does 100-milers all the time. He's done a 240. What is it? The Bigfoot 240? Is that what it is? He's done a bunch of these through the mountains with thousands of feet of elevation and decline. He's done a bunch of these that are 200+ miles.
God, that's not.
And you got to build up to that. But once you get to that, if you're sustaining it, you can do those things. So he does those things on a regular basis. He does multiple ones a year. So you didn't used to think that was possible. They used to say that if you ran a marathon, like you were destroyed for like 2 weeks. No, he was running a marathon a day while he worked a full-time job. So he was getting up in the morning at dark. He was running 13 miles. He was going to work. During his lunchtime, he would eat. After lunch, after work, he runs another 13 fucking miles.
He would be one where I wouldn't want to look at him because I think I'm lazy.
That's the thing. That's why there's a thing about, like, I think I'm lazy and I love him. He's my friend, so I think I'm lazy. But when I watch what he's doing, and Goggins is another one.
Yeah, oh my God.
Goggins is even more insane because he ain't doing it for nothing. He's not preparing for elk hunting. He but yet he's doing the 11 car sign that comes to train with him, and he's throwing a bucket.
Oh my God.
He's 50.
Wow.
How old is Goggins?
50.
50. 50.
Oh my God.
And he's had two terrible knees.
Oh my God.
He's had many knee surgeries. His knees are destroyed, and he does not give a fuck. He forces them to work.
Golly. So again, this is like, that's a level which is just exceptional.
Yeah.
Because there's just
What's a weird level?
It is, because that's a pocket. It's just a pocket of people that have that.
There's only a handful. There's only a handful like that guy. Because it's not just that. He broke the world record chin-up competition once. Like he's done a ton of things that are just like physically insane. You know, he was a smoke jumper. He didn't even tell anybody about it. He did it just because it was hard. This is why he's famous. This is why he's famous. They take him up in a helicopter, you get fucking parachuted to fight forest fires. Because it was hard to do.
Yeah.
I'm not shitting you, man.
Oh my God.
He sent me a photo once. He texted me a photo of a grizzly bear track. And he goes, we just landed near this. I mean, it's a fucking track like that big. And he's out there with a backpack
and a fucking
and a shovel fighting fires. And only because it's hard. He's a multi-millionaire.
Yeah. Oh my
He's a multi-millionaire who's getting parachuted to fight fires. And here's the thing, man. If I didn't talk about it, maybe I'm out of school, people wouldn't even know. You have to know that. Maybe he doesn't want people to know. They need to know that.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane.
That is beyond insane. That's like one of those where it's like, you know, the wiring that exists in him, it doesn't happen by chance. That's you have this genetic ability.
But he was fat when he was young, and he was lazy. He was drinking milkshakes. He talks about it openly. See, the first time he decided to run, to go running, he couldn't even run around the block. He was totally out of shape. He has photos of it. He shows you, like, this is like, no, I made myself this. So this is my thinking about fighting. Like, have we just accepted that you can't really fight full blast for 5-minute rounds? Or is it that no one has built themselves up to a level where you can? Like when you were talking about how Kurt hit a new gear, or with the gear that Marab is clearly on right now, or Hamza. There's that gear. What if like we're gonna push that even further, where there's guys that can sprint for 5-minute. Like there's a few flyweights that can do that. Like Pantoja can kind of sprint for 5-minute rounds.
You can go. So they'll eventually be a fighter that can do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
And because it's just one where like I was saying, from where I started from 25 years ago, and the training methods and how archaic they were, and how little knowledge was out there.
Right.
Now knowledge is advancing at such a rapid rate, and they're understanding how to recover. They're understanding all these different factors that just weren't there.
Yeah, and if you add in a bunch of stuff like hyperbaric chambers, so these guys have access to hyperbaric chambers and training with hypoxic chambers and shit like that. There's levels and levels and levels that can be reached. You just have to be a complete fucking psycho and go through all the levels.
Yeah.
And get
like Donkey Kong.
Like measure all your food, all your electrolytes, everything throughout the day. Have your sleep environment perfect. Wear a mask.
I'm telling you, there's guys out there that'll do it.
There's guys who'll do it.
They'll do it.
Well, they have to if that's where you get the edge. Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's becoming to a point now where the financial benefit is worth the sacrifice, right?
Yes.
That you'll end up going, okay. Because what started to happen when I was fighting is that once the financial piece started getting in there, it started attracting more talent.
Right.
So that talent, it brings the level of everybody up.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's like a little bit more money, talent that could have maybe went and did something else. They're going up.
Kid, and you're really good at baseball, but you also like jiu-jitsu and MMA, and you have an amateur fight maybe, and you're thinking about what you're going to do with your career. You could be so rich playing baseball.
Oh God,
you could be so rich if you're really good at baseball. You can be rich as fuck, and nobody's trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Nobody's trying to beat you over the head with elbows. Yeah. Nobody's dating you. What the fuck is this? Let's play ball.
Seriously, I fucking play baseball in our heartbeat, man.
Fuck yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
that's the problem with MMA. Is like you hear like, what is it to fight in the UFC? Like, what is the bottom scale? What's like the lowest contract that you get in the UFC in 2020? And this is not even saying they deserve more because this is just how the sport works.
Yeah.
And it's way better in the UFC, by the way, than it is in boxing. When you watch a boxing card, most of the money's at the top. There's very little spread out.
Yeah.
There's guys that fight in the UFC undercard that make excellent money. But when you first start, you don't. But think it's like 10.
It's one of those things where it's like what I expect is like start at Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
And going, I get $1 million a year. Fuck no. You work your way into, and that's one of the things about the sport. As long as it has the opportunity to let somebody grow into it, it still gives them financial incentive to grow into it, right?
Right.
It's just one where it's like I would expect, like, hey, I'm a good fighter, pay me $1 million. It's like, well, that's not how it fucking works.
No, I wouldn't say $1 million, but wouldn't you say, like, let's make this argument, wouldn't you think that for young, struggling fighters, if they got paid more for fights, they could put together better camps?
They could.
They could get better recovery and nutrition, have less stress, and be able to perform better so it would make the product better.
So here's where my career transitioned. I call it internally funded. My first 4 fights, I was using that money to get to the next fight, to get to the next fight, to get to the next fight. And all of a sudden I get in Japan and they pay me enough money for the one fight that the next day, professional fighter, because it was the only thing I had to do was train as a fighter.
What was the biggest check you got in Japan?
Little damn.
Back then, that was a lot.
Cash.
Ooh.
Yeah, fucking.
How did you get it out of the country?
Dude, that was.
How did you get
So
it?
here's what's fucked up about it, right? So at my first couple times over there, I'm like, I put, like, first time I put 40-something thousand in one cowboy boot with the 2 socks. I put 40,000 in the cowboy boot with the 2 socks. I'm serious. Because it was straight out of the fucking cartoons how you got paid. Because the next day, you would go up to a room, and you literally would have a room. You'd have an adjacent room, usually Japanese guys in black suits smoking, and then you'd have this room, which is where you get paid. They had these, suitcases that had your pay. You could choose your currency. Right? I'm getting paid in American dollars. So they would have your contract, slide your contract over, and they go, okay, this fight you get paid, this is the dollar amount, blah, blah, blah. And they would literally take it out, count it, you would sign on it, to the cash. First time they ever did that, I'm like, it's $50,000 in cash, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I'll be right back. And I grab the fucking case to the pillow, and I go over and I fucking just scrape the fucking money, put it in the pillowcase, and I go, okay, thank you. And just start fucking go head out. I don't know what to fucking do. I'm like down in the elevator, like fucking holding the money, like fucking, I don't know what to fucking do.
50 grand in a pillowcase. Like,
I
who
don't
is
know
that
what
guy?
to fucking do.
Big giant guy with 150 grand.
No, it does not, man. It's like,
What did they expect you to do with it? Did
I
they
don't-
give you any advice? How to get it out of the country?
oh no, that was not. That was. It was your responsibility.
Oh my God.
So literally, I'm like, oh fuck, man. I like get on it, and like in my head, I'm playing all these movies, right? Like, oh, in this movie, he got caught at the border. I'm like, fuck. I know that's gonna be this one. It's like, so I ended up fucking just going, oh, cowboy boots, 2 socks, like fucking 40 grand in one boot, 40 grand in the other. Put it in the fucking and like walk and like, you got anything to declare? No. Just like walk through, but realizing that eventually when I claim the money, they hand the claim form. I go, okay, you claim it on $40,000. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Oh, you just have to claim it?
You have to claim it because they want to send it. They want to send that receipt to the IRS.
Oh,
So when you go through customs,
I thought it was just a function of not being able to take that much cash without like an explanation.
when you declare it, there's that situation too, right? But when
Because everybody's going to go, where's you going to have it go? I guess back then, could you even go? No, you couldn't even YouTube yourself.
No, there's
You couldn't say, look, this is me, man. I just won.
No.
Look, aren't I awesome?
Exactly. This is how I really did win.
Right, back then it was hard to get
Oh my
tapes, man.
god! And you know what? The like example I give is like the corner video store
Mm-hmm.
next to the shutters.
Yeah.
Where all the porn was.
Yep.
Right next to that was the
More
VHS
beats,
tapes.
maybe beats. So everybody can hear it when you went through, you dirty pervert. Hey, you gotta go see Face
Oh
of
my
the Dead.
Dude,
Those Face of the Dead from UFC.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was right. Literally, those were where the UFC tapes were. Those were the Pride tapes were.
I remember I was living in Hollywood. I just moved there. It was 94. It was when UFC 2 was available on VHS.
Yeah.
So I'd heard about UFC 1, but I didn't see it. And then UFC 2, I saw on tape. I rented it from like one of those video stores, and I was like, "Holy shit, they did it!" I couldn't believe it. I'm like,
Wow.
"Holy shit, they did it!" Because this was always the dream. This was literally Bruce Lee's conversation.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee's conversation. I mean, he was the first guy to be completely outside of the norm in terms of like sticking to your style.
Yeah.
Because that you were like a traitor if you left
100%,
certain kung fu styles or certain karate styles. He was the first guy to say, no, use what's useful. Put it all together.
Judo Gene LaBelle he got with. He
Yes.
got with Chuck Norris. He got with all these other. That was the first thing. Like the symbol, the kanji for a dragon, right? Bruce Lee was Enter the Dragon. Right?
Yeah.
Dragon is all these parts to make one mythical thing.
Yes.
And that's that Enter the Dragon. That's that. Bruce Lee was the first one. If people don't realize it, he was the first one to go, "Fuck, this is incomplete."
Exactly. And it's so fortuitous that he ran into Judo Gene LaBelle.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think once you grapple with that guy, you're like, oh my God, I'm fucking helpless. And then it's just like, oh, this is super important.
Yeah.
You know, because like Gene was one of the first guys to ever have like a mixed fight. So there was a guy who was a boxer, and he had a judo gi on, and he chases the guy and gets the guy into a grappling exchange and then strangles him. But he had like a boxer versus judo.
Wow.
You never saw that?
No.
See if you can find it, Jimmy. I want to say it's in the
So way back. So this is gonna be way back when.
way back when he was.
So this is Mark Coleman and I did a clinic in North Carolina. That was a Judo Gene LaBelle clinic that he brought us in for.
What year is this? 63.
Oh my God.
So Milo Savage. So looks like he's okay. I remembered it wrong. The boxer's bare knuckle, and he made him wear a judo gi though, which someone said, "Fuck you, I'm not wearing this gi." He probably doesn't understand that that's a weapon.
Oh
for
my
Gene.
God.
What
It's
happened?
just had a
We
hand.
didn't see him take him down.
Oh, that's
Did
just.
they show him taking him down?
Oh my God.
Don't skip through. I want to see the technique. Because once he grabs right here, so Milo throws it, but that's it. Once Gene's got a hold
Oh,
of him,
it's over.
it's fucked
It's
up.
over.
Know what that even feels like until you feel it.
Oh my God. So I rolled with Yiga Machado, and oh my God.
He's just putting sleeping with a collar choke
Oh
here.
my God.
Yeah, he's mangling him. He's just mangling him. This
Oh
poor
my
guy.
God.
And Gene his style was very, very brutal.
Oh my God.
Like he had a very almost like catch wrestling style based submission. He had a lot of like very, very painful moves that he would do on you.
Oh my God. Can you imagine just not understanding what you're agreeing to?
No, he just got choked unconscious. You can't know until it happens. I mean, training people did. I bet he probably thought I was just going to go in there and use my boxing.
Yeah,
and
it'd be
I'll
good.
fuck him up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's just you don't know until you know, and then you go, wow. But it's so wild that even at the highest levels, like the level that you were wrestling at, a guy like Kurt Angle would go, let's check it out.
Another notch, man. I always find like me being a fan of MMA and UFC, watching it. There's always an outlier, right?
Always.
Oh, you go. That doesn't. How the fuck is he there?
Yep.
Right? And that's like, fuck. He's just found a new way to do it. He's found a new gear. He's found a new, way to just go. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. It's like a David Goggins thing. Oh, I'm just gonna run 125 miles.
Yeah, and to be able to maintain that drive, that's what's probably one of the hardest things, because you have to almost no rest. And you're maintaining an insane drive for years and years and years, while sharks are nipping at your ankles.
All
Because they're all coming up.
Yeah, all chasing you.
All chasing.
Yeah.
And everybody's scary.
Well, I used to tell my fucking training partner, like, fuck, the getting there, one thing, fucking stare. That's the secret.
Yeah.
It's so hard to stay at that level because everybody else is building on your experience, right? They're going, well, this is what he did. This is what he's incorporated. These are the things he's doing. You know, I'm just going to build on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Weird rules to this fight that they had agreed upon too, and Gene DeBell said that Savage had brass knuckles in his gloves.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I started reading like the rules. You couldn't punch or tackle, you couldn't kick or tackle him. And in exchange for that, Savage offered to wear a judogi.
A judogi.
Oh, sorry, no, I was thinking of it.
Yeah. No, it's a judogi.
That's a new
They
outfit.
had a karate one instead because they didn't know the difference.
Okay, so in the apparent belief that LaBelle was a karateka. So that's interesting. So he made a rule that that Gene couldn't kick him. So because he thought he was going to use, he couldn't tackle him and he couldn't take him. So it couldn't attempt tackles or takedowns under the waist.
Ooh.
So you had to only hip toss him or only drag him to the ground. Everything had to be above waist. That's kind of silly.
It's really silly. Because it's one of those things where it's like Greco.
Yeah.
They're doing like Greco.
Yeah. $1,000 bet.
Pardon me.
Boxer would be beat by a martial artist in a street fight.
Wow. This is way ahead of
I
it.
wonder if the brass knuckles thing is true.
Yeah, I'll try to look that up.
According to LaBelle, and others, here's that motherfucker, Gene LaBelle. Oof.
Ahead of his time.
Yeah, and again, that fortuitous meeting, him and Bruce Lee getting together, where Bruce Lee was like, you know, the most famous martial artist on earth, the guys turning people on to martial arts, had the most open mind, and had this philosophy of using everything that's useful, and then meets this guy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Here it
there
is.
you go.
Yeah.
He would have loved MMA.
Oh my God.
If he was alive
We
today.
totally jazzed on
Oh
it.
my God, he'd be at every fight.
Yeah. That's one of those things where you know, again, it's just somebody being ahead of their time.
Way ahead of stuff. But not just that, but like the first guy that became a world famous martial arts person. Like there was no real world famous martial arts people before Bruce Lee. I mean, you had to be into martial arts to know about
martial arts.
Yeah, but Bruce Lee, like everybody knew Bruce Lee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Changed martial, like igniting martial arts all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where I look back on it and I've read like part of the history and stuff, and you understand it obviously way better than I do. But you know, like ahead of his time, just like when Gracie came along, ahead of his time, you know, and presenting something where he's knocking down all these stereotypes.
Yeah, and they had rigid stereotypes back then. Where you'd have to like get in gang fights to protect the style that you were like.
Do you know, like, so I started training at Beverly Hills Jiu-Jitsu Club, right, in California. And
I remember that spot.
So Boss would have me out there. Avi Rubin is the guy that owned it, and I'd go out there and I was wrestling a couple days out of the week. It's how I got introduced to Boss. Oleg Tatar, Marco, who was the major league, so they were training out of there as well. So you would get these guys, jiu-jitsu guys, that would sit on the outside, wait until the other students were gone, draw all the blinds, lock the doors, and go, "Can you teach us wrestling?" Because they were so afraid that if they got caught there with me, it was like a traitor.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So you would get like,
That's so crazy.
it was it didn't make any sense to me because you would figure sharing information would be better.
Yeah.
And it was like, no. Jiu-jitsu, we're not sharing shit. You can't participate. You can't. It was so fucking archaic, like the outlook, and it's like look back on it going, God, man, it's like, wow, that's dogma. That's like this, like,
It's weird.
Yeah.
They didn't all have that though.
No, they didn't.
There's some guys who were open to teaching people everything, but there was definitely some schools for a while that were holding back techniques.
100%.
Like I remember when Hoist Gracie, one of my friends said that when Hoist Gracie caught Dan Severn in a triangle, that he asked his instructor to show it to him. He's like, "You're not ready for that. I'm not going to show you that." Like, why would you do something that works?
I retaped probably 50 times. I still can't. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, I couldn't figure it out. Like, what the fuck is he doing? Because all of a sudden, Severn goes from beating the shit out of him, going, he's fucking tapping out.
Yeah, nuts. We couldn't believe it.
I didn't know there's a name for it.
You could submit a guy off your back with your legs?
Like, what the fuck? Like, what, but if you look at it, like, the space where he had Dan's head and arms, it's like that big.
Yeah.
It's like that fucking, like, when you do a triangle like this, that's not a very big space.
Yeah.
It's like that fucking Dan, because he's a big dude going, oh, I get it.
And your legs, you can hold your legs in place for a long time. Your legs carry you around all day.
Oh, that's like,
especially if you actually get that foot under the knee, where it's like really locked in, it's not pressing on the end of your foot. You could hold on to that bitch for a long time.
Oh my God, and then it's like pulling on the fucking, I'm like,
pulling on the head.
Fuck.
Nuts. Changed everybody. Like, oh my God, you can win off your back.
It literally, I still remember to this day just looking at it with my mouth hanging open going,
I think it was one of the things that made MMA so popular because Hoist wasn't a big, like, he didn't look like you, right?
No,
so like if you were dominating everybody, it would be like, Jesus, look at him.
Yeah.
But Hoist was just like a thin. He was 175 pounds. It's just so crazy.
So you know what's a good?
So crazy.
So I had a conversation with Hoist probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and I'd never spoken outside of a competition or event or anything like that. I cried. He's such a good person.
Oh, he's a great guy. He's a great guy.
Like, he was so just, like, talking to him, and he was just so powerful and so inspirational, and just having this conversation with him was just, like, amazing. I was just left the conversation, hung the phone with him, going, wow, what a just an amazing human being.
Yeah, he's
a really good guy.
And the most important guy ever in terms of like the spread of MMA. He's the most important guy.
Oh, prolific.
Because he's the guy, when he won the first one and you looked at the way he did it, everyone was like, that guy?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
No one knew what it was. What is this stuff he's doing to these people?
That thing.
Yeah. It made everybody, instead, because it went from this idea that it was just the most brutal person to win. It was the Tank Abbott's, like, but no. There's this one guy, and he's doing everything with technique, and he's not physically imposing at all. And he's handsome.
It did make, he's good.
That's a fella.
And he wears that fancy key thing. You know?
He's a bad motherfucker, and he's choking everybody out. It's
God, it was
incredible.
Watching that for the first time, I said, like, literally, it was like, oh, this is fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, this is, I mean, because you've never seen it before.
No, nothing like it.
Yeah.
And then the sport exploded, but the sport was getting fucked so hard back then by all these organizations that didn't want it ever to become sanctioned.
Yeah.
Like, because boxing was very threatened by it.
Everybody
They had businesses with people, and then there was so much bullshit that kept it, like, it was out of New York until like 10 years ago.
So we were on, me and my brother, we were on our way to see a UFC event in New York, and it got canceled, and it got moved down south.
Yes, to Dothan, Alabama.
Yes.
UFC 12.
Yeah. We were on our way to go see it.
I was on my way to work at it.
Oh my God.
That was the first one I was going to work at.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it got moved.
Yeah, it got moved, and so
New York was like, nope,
ain't having it. Ain't having it.
Well, they kept it out for the longest time, though. There was the guy who was really fighting to keep the UFC out of New York. Eventually got brought up on corruption charges.
Hella toxic is the
Shocking.
podcast.
But
Yes.
it was like, it had more to do with like unions, the fact that Zufa, who owned it, they also owned hotels.
Oh yeah.
A lot going on. A lot amazing.
I went to the first sanction. The UFC flew me out to go to New Jersey when they had their main card in New Jersey. Their first big event that was sanctioned by the New Jersey Boxing Commission with Tito, and they flew me out to that event.
Oh wow.
Yeah, flew me out to that event. And actually, this is at the time. They offered me to fight. After that, they offered me to fight King Williams.
Oh,
And it was one of those where they go, yeah, we're offering to fight people. You might have to take a little bit of pay cut, but you have to believe in what we're doing. And then I'm like, okay, let's fake out. They're like, we'll give you like an appearance fee of like $15. Fight, just show up, and then it'd be double the price. You know, it's a lot more in Japan. Like, why would I go do that?
Yeah, sometimes you just be like,
That's crazy. Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, so that's one of the worst offers I've ever heard. And it's number the whole idea behind it would be, hey, just if you believe in us and you believe in our well, it's got sanctions, right? Yeah. So that's the steps we're taking to do this to Vegas and to do this. And one is like, most fighters, it's like, I have X amount of fights and I don't have more. Right? I only have X. So that way they take one off my X number. Right. And I'm like, oh man, I can't do it. And then at that time, you're like, we're going to have one. And that's it. Okay. So just leave that alone. Just leave that one alone.
That was what I like. Why not? Why not ask me to take that? Why not negotiate? If you were at Pride then, right? So like, what year are we talking about?
2000.
Okay, so this was the still
Yeah. Oh god, man, it should have failed.
It could have.
I mean, if anybody else was in charge of it, if anybody else was else, yeah.
Because that's crazy. They had no idea how much money you were getting.
Oh, they had no clue. They had no clue. So you know what's crazy with Japan? Here's what I ended up doing. I said, listen, they said, what do you need? And I said, I need consistency.
I don't see this light thing when I sit
And they go, okay, what does that look like? And I
He's
said,
so smart that I can really understand what he's saying sometimes because I'm like,
and then every time I try to change
using AI to create like
they go,
a structure, like
okay, how much do you need? And I said, okay, this amount per month. And they
that
go,
replaces paralegals, like using
and
AI.
that was just another stabilizing thing where I do that every month. I had X amount of dollars coming in. But I could pay my bills, I could do my
This is
stuff
why
now.
it's like he's
Because a lot of people transition, it's like, it's not a house where I'm like fighting and then I go to work. You know, it's like this is what I do for a living.
Yeah, I was at the point of thinking about money and investment. Like by giving them more money, they get better camps. Would you think the product would be better?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't like to think of people's products, but the show, the program. So now I guess you don't have to pay for it. You just pay for the subscription to Paramount, which is pretty badass. You don't have to pay for a pay-per-view every time. But, you know, if they have more money, they can go do a better camp. They get better shape, all the way around. Yeah, they get better recovery, they have better nutrition.
It's investing in what the product is. And your product is anything correctly. In order to get these athletes, they need funding, right? They need tools. The only way they can get tools is money. You know, better coaches, better recovery facilities. And I don't know the you know,
Let me ask you this: if you were like looking, let's say if your son wanted to start fighting, or someone wanted to look at you, would you, if you were giving a young fighter advice, would you say go right into UFC, or would you say no? The best case scenario is go into another organization like the PFL, build your style up, build it up on maybe a little slightly lower level of competition, although not necessarily. Yeah, still elite guys.
submission grappling. That's literally it goes. Fundamentally, you need to build a base of what you're going to do, right? So submission grappling, as a young kid, like 16, 17 years old, 18, 20-year-old kid, I go, you need submission grappling because you can participate in those at a level that teaches you how to compete, it teaches you how to prepare to compete, right? And it teaches you how impact of striking and punching. How you compete without having the physical impact that fighting does. So that would be the first thing. Like submission grappling, the ECC stuff. You know, all of that really teaches you how to compete and train to compete. And it starts building that base. And then you start adding going, okay, I understand. Let's have the striking component, and let's do these little like GFLs, or let's do this. And it just allows you to build out something where you're not just thrown into the fire, because that shit doesn't work. I mean, the fighters have become so good now that you can just throw somebody in there because it's fun. You get fucked up, it might fuck your confidence up. Right.
You could definitely reach an opponent that you shouldn't be reaching.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder that if you build yourself up in another organization, then obviously you have a name, and the hardcore fans know who you are. So it's like Rainier the Ritter, another example. Okay, who's elite right now. I say middleweight, I can't believe he's really a middleweight. He's so fucking big, but he's a fantastic rapper. But he was already champion. He won. He's a champion of one FC, and then when he comes over to America and starts fighting for the UFC, people are already hyped. Yeah, so it's like immediately getting tossed in there with Kevin Holland.
Yeah.
Getting tossed in there with like very elite fighter. Like maybe there's an argument for if you were like managing a fighter. So like don't just if you fight well in the UFC, you might be 3 fights in the waters that you can't swim in. Yeah. Because the level gets high very fast. Like maybe you'd be better off getting a few years in at a different level of competition to really tighten your skills up and make sure that when you finally do,
when a young fighter, when he gets and he understands how to compete at that level, it's amazing. Like watching it, you're like, oh my god, he's in there. Oh my god, it's like it's goosebumps to think about it because it's that moment that I can look at and go, oh fuck.
And it's a beautiful creation. It's like a testament to the amount of hours worked. Like you know it better than anybody alive. When you see someone perform at like a super elite championship level, you go, no, hard that motherfucker had to work to get to what you're seeing right now.
It's even like DJ playing me. You just have to get there.
Right.
It doesn't happen by magic.
Right.
It's fucking work. And
For him,
a lot of fucking work.
He became you. Like you got all of your mannerisms down. Not like a simile, facsimile, like creepy down.
Like every time he fucking walks like me. He even got my little fucking walk. I'm like, get the walk like you, man. I'm like, where do you hire a walk coach?
It's like, God, that was me, because you have to be that big to sell that.
Yeah.
And you can't get that big that quick.
You forever. So we were talking about this the other day. Is that like there's like comedic history of like it goes and then there's like how he's like, well, I just don't need to be big, because that's one thing I need to be big on doing. And so it's these fat positions, like a wrestler, fat fibers. You look at him and go, oh shit, he just needs to get big. He's not a specific muscle for what he does. He's secluded himself. He literally locked himself away for 11 weeks up in Vancouver and didn't bring his family up, which I guess he normally does. He just went through his training camp. It's like going, fuck. Okay. Like every day, same routine, get up, do the same routine, do this. How's a big fight? We got all of this stuff, guys. All this shit. This is foundation. Sometimes you're wrestling and fucking a fun, right? Like, okay, but let's do it. Travis Brown's look at the film.
Especially someone like you.
Oh god, yeah. It was one where that was the biggest deal of the Benny's video scenes without the stunt double. How to be because it just drives the like how do you shoot the whole set of 12 foundational pieces of like games level for double where you get and like certain foundational pieces you have to have, and then like I told them, once you get to a certain point, everything from that point on is your own. It's like when you watch wrestlers going, oh, this level, and there's all these little nuances, that's individual. That's individualized. Like Michael Jordan, it's like the structure for a jump shot is the same, right? But all these little nuances of like how to keep the position to hit a jump shot, that's Michael Jordan. So I go, like when I shoot a double leg, from the lower level, the foundation, right? It's like attacking without my arms out, being tight, that's fundamental. But once I hit the person, which was the attack, right? Double leg, everything in that point going on is my own. Whether I keep him this way, trigger this way, try to fall up backward, sit down, change, it's all the way in one. I don't. We need to do foundational So there was a lot of work for him to get to that foundational point. And once he got there, it was like,
It looked very realistic. The fights were excellent. Yeah, it was really well done. The cornbread looked like the historical fight.
yeah, they did it like, and
I really appreciate that. But that's hard to do. It's hard to really capture. Like, drama rather on a person's real life. Person's a famous person like yourself, and I've seen you compete for decades. And like I've seen it. I remember those fights. They got it. They got it real close.
Yeah,
People are like, wow.
yeah.
This is and it also like it looks realistic. It doesn't look, sometimes fights look a little corny.
Oh my god, that was the one thing. There's always going to be a space for Rocky.
Or
That's long enough, but this is how do we create something that pays homage to and something you can build off of, and someone can look at and go, oh wow.
I think it's important that we're talking about Rocky though. We have to say Rocky 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever the fuck they got. It's like Rocky 1.
Oh my god, I literally, every time I'm in the theater, you literally watch it, and you just like, as a kid, watching it, like, I wanted to be Rocky.
Dude, I drank a ride, I ran around the block.
Oh yeah,
I got
100%. I feel like,
holy shit, that was a great movie. And they tried to push him out. They didn't want him to play the lead. He wrote that movie.
God, they won an Oscar for it. Yeah, it's a great movie, and it's a weird movie. It is. That's the classic underdog.
Yeah,
But it doesn't win.
there are guys like that, man. And that's what's crazy. There's guys that are hyper fucking talented, but for whatever reason, they just never Buster Douglas.
Yeah, oh my god, exactly.
Buster Douglas got a tip for one fight against Mike Tyson, beats him up, and did it artistically.
Yeah.
He was hitting with a jab followed by a left hook. Just whap, whap. It was beautiful. The movement.
Wasn't that coaching?
I believe it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing.
But one fight, man, you got the other, you go, wow. There's guys like that out there that are supremely talented, but for whatever reason, never sustain, never keep it together.
Yeah, I mean, all of it is, right? I mean, like you're saying, like the outliers, it's a mental thing that then has to exit the house level and push to everybody else.
It has to be, or there's got to be something that's so different. And everybody's trying to figure it out. Like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
But it seems to have down almost always dedication. Like,
how dedicated are you to it? And are you so dedicated that you're really willing to objectively look at what you do good and what's not so good and change that and fix it and really tighten down your diet and really but yet you're willing to do supplements that
That's the ability to have the self-perspective, right? That's honesty. There's a lot of it, like, I literally, before Crystal and I was talking about, I thought I was training fucking hard. I thought, like, I'm training fucking hard. And he just grabbed me by the hand and goes, no, right? And so it's this routine where it's like, in college, my senior year, 6 a.m. and get up, do pick me up. And I went to the clinic first. I had a chair that was next to the door that I slept in for the last, because one time being late just rotted. And I'm like, hey, I ain't fucking having a cat, man. So I slept in the chair next to the door. You know, and be like, all right, because he was just a cheat. And he's like, all right, I'm out, go to the gym, do train this morning, so we do wrestling drills, stuff like that, cardio training. You go to work, you go to work all day. I would start practicing with the wrestling team, warm up, and then I'd train to get off from work, 5 o'clock, and then we train for a couple hours, and then get up and leave. But it's this level of intensity with everything more than anything else left around. Well, from how we drove, how we trained, everything was very focused and intentional. And then I said, well, I'm going to do this today. And I was like, no. Everything has intention. This is why you're doing this. This is why you're doing that. This is why you're doing this. And that's the difference. That's the difference. It's this intention of every single
Gordon Ryan. Yeah, that's Gordon felt like that. When Gordon trains for 65 days a year, he's injured, and if he's injured, he'll still be on the mat watch everybody punch jiu-jitsu. And it's not just training like hard sparring, it's going over technique, going over counters, case study, all that.
And that is somebody who's living their life intentionally, right? Everything has a purpose. Everything. It is why you did it. Yeah, I mean, I would look at it going, if he just did when I was doing it, I would never have it. It's just different level. That's a skill set I had wrestling. He's got a skill set that incorporates that.
And it's not anything I can do. He says it was confident. He goes, I put on all my videos. That's fucking funny. I mean, it's just techniques up all the time. He's live experience selling his merchandise. How much he knows about you. Yeah. And everybody considers it the greatest of all time.
You know, it's crazy. It's funny to brought this up. Jay and I connected again in 2023 when this got kicked off. So he sent me pictures of Panther videos, Panther martial arts, get destroyed. And there's a thread that are in VHS tape. He's got like 10 of them in the picture, right? And his marker is destroyed. Then he found them and sent them to DJ. He's like, so this videotape series that I did with Panther. So this is one of these things that destroyed. Oh my God, bar fighting things. Yeah. And so the DJ sends me this picture, and it was fucking, I was literally like, okay, I'm in. Look at the size of you. You look like a superhero. Oh, dude, I call it phone booth fighting, right? Like I get in a very small space.
Oh, dude, you were a freak. You were a legitimate freak. And I remember like watching you fight the first time. I was like, that. It's one thing that you're giant, but it's also that you got elite wrestling skills on top of that. Like, oh,
yeah. This might be yeah.
all these dudes in karate movies, like, God,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, like, oh,
and then again, the problem is they just name it grab it.
yeah.
You know, it makes wrestling even easier. Like, if you allowed the eat still, I think there's probably be a few people that get choked out, but
Yeah.
so you can grab it.
You can get a title, I just rolled it.
Right.
He gave it to say.
Yeah.
I go up here, literally said the one corner when I tried to film it, like, there's one room and then another room and there's a door between them. So we get half of his class all stacked up in the door right there. And it was like 5 minutes of I just take my key off, man, here, have it back. It's like, fuck,
It's a weapon. Oh my God. Yeah, it's a weapon. Especially guys that really good collar chokes. Those guys are terrifying. You get that thumb behind your neck.
Oh,
You're like, oh, Christ.
it was like you tie up an arm, like with the knee, and you're like, fuck, now he's got like what the fuck, dude?
It's a totally different thing. You have to really be aware of grips. And you can't explode your way out of stuff. That's like the argument for the key is defensively that you have to get out of every position with technique. You can't just pull your arm out. Your arm's stuck. So you have to figure out the right way to get it. Yeah, where you can expose yourself. Because there's too much friction.
It's been a minute up there, and I'm like, nope. I mean, literally, it's all friction.
Yeah, it's a problem. If you have one, but the thing, anybody always want to train in that for MMA though. He's like, that would be crazy. That'd be like saying, if you play racquetball, you can be better at tennis.
Yeah.
No, play tennis. Yeah. Play tennis at an elite level. All your grips should be based on control of the body, stable grips,
All that.
overlooks, no overlooks, and again, you can't, because that's the one thing that we saw with a lot of jiu-jitsu guys in the early days. They were so used to grabbing collars and grabbing speed that when they went to the ground, they lost 30% of their game.
Yes. Yeah, but it's why I like foundationally yes, right, for sure. Foundationally, it's like that's where you need to start.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, because even to the point where it's like you have a lot of wrestling in there, and you have a lot of like my first time to Abu Dhabi, I can't. The only thing I can say is small.
Oh, thank you so much.
Like I literally.
Sapphires.
But it wasn't this like explosion. It was like, fuck, I don't know what I'm gonna explode into. Right, you know, so it's foundationally, it's
Sapphires, you're amazing.
a different sport.
It's a totally different sport, but I think there's something to be gained from cross training with the gi. I think the gi is like, it's a fun thing to do, and in most street fights, the realistic thing is you're wearing clothes, especially if you're fighting a place that is like where people wearing winter coats. Oh my God, it doesn't make sense. There's so many things to choose from, so much control available. But for the if you really ever want to think about competing, I would say just go right into wrestling and to learn that stuff first. That's foundational. Yeah, man, I can't believe you did it. I know, it's so long. I mean, you're spectating the industry. I know. I feel super lucky. Incredibly fortunate. You know when I felt the most fortunate? During COVID. Because you couldn't do anything, but the UFC was still putting on shows, and you get tested, when you got there, everything was massive. But we were in the Apex Center, and I got to watch like world championship fights with no audience. It was crazy. And there's only one of maybe there's 100 people in the whole room that are getting to watch these fights. Like when we saw Steve Bang fight Francis Ngannou, when Francis beat him for the world title, no one in that room. Wow, it's crazy to watch. If you watch it today, it's such a weird video because it's an elite performance by Francis in his prime, where he's destroyed going after Steve Bang shit. You know, so when DC started calling him Patient Francis, dude, there's no doubt. And it's kind of eerie. It's eerie.
Because when he KOs him, and you hear people go, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's like people kind of freaked out.
Wow. That's
It's very unique. And I was like, wow, there's so few people that get to be here.
oh my gosh.
While this fight's
Yeah.
happening. Like when Justin Gaethje fought Tony Ferguson, oh my God, we were in an empty arena. Wow. The arena was completely empty. It was only the UFC crew and only the people that were working around with the UFC. There was no crowd.
Wow.
And if you watch that today, it's so hard.
So I even thought like my first fights in and how quiet the crowd was. But not that quiet. There was no one there.
The Justin Gaethje Tony Ferguson fight, there might have been, I don't know, 100 people, 200 people in the whole fucking arena. It was nuts. It was like totally quiet. So it was eerie because you heard the slaps of the punches and kicks way different.
Oh, I bet.
Because there's no people cheering. Because there's always people cheering. Yeah. It's always this background noise. Like,
Yeah.
and you hear thuds and stuff, and I hear a little better than most people because I'm wearing the headphones and the microphones are in the. But you don't hear it like you hear when there's an empty arena.
Wow.
There's an empty arena.
No, I need to go back and watch that. If I can
Shit.
yeah. Oh my God. So I sat there with a group of people that had like watching somebody get their chin on chin. It just me. Nobody in the room getting it. I'm just going, oh, yeah. How? I don't care. Like, I don't care. That's a fucking hurt. That hurts. I don't care.
You can poke your face that shit off.
Oh, dude, it fucking hurt. That's like a big fuck you. Like, I know that hurt, dude. I know that hurt. I know that hurt.
The COVID times were dark times, but it made me feel very fortunate to be working for UFC. To be there live as a, person that just loved this sport. It first started. To be there live while those fights are going on like this, nuts.
That is just one of those where, again, money can't buy that. I mean, it's just one of those experiences, like I've had a couple through this process of filmmaking, where it's like, no money at first, because I get experience, like in Venice, standing there, like literally, like I'm crying, because like I said, it was at the end of that therapy, watching me and literally settling in, like, wow, and I was a dick. I just was really hard at it around me. And then having right next to me, DJ next to me, feeling their emotions, feeling they never experienced anything like that.
Well, I think anybody trying to do what you were trying to do has got to be a bit of a dick. I don't think you're always super friendly. You're doing something that's really insane. You're cage fighting for a living in front of the world in your underwear.
Yeah. I tell people it's hot pants.
I go fucking how many hot pants? You want to know the truth?
Really hot pants.
I mean, you were a human superhero, still living human superhero, and you're fighting for who the fuck expects you to be normal?
They do though. That's what I'm like, no, I was just self-absorbed. And I look at it and I go, okay, all right, I can accept that and understand I was trying to raise everybody up. If you couldn't get with a fucking program, I didn't have to.
Well, you had gone through, like we were talking about the camps, and you had gone through the kind of training that's required to reach the level that you reached, that you had reached. You know what's in there for everybody, and people that don't want to come forward get mad at them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna hold it back.
Yeah, and that's part of it, like understanding, like I just said, it's something that I don't have time for, right? Yeah, it's understanding, like I know that at any amount of fucking fighting, we're gonna try to and that's not gonna work. Because a lot of it is something people that are accountable to me, right? And why are you gonna hold people accountable? But at a certain point, it was like, hey, I can help you get to the next level. Right? That was kind of the enticement.
Yeah.
You just need to make a commitment to me.
Right.
Right? Make a commitment to me, and I'll give you that little piece that you're missing. And that was kind of the part that I helped, go, okay, my training partners be accountable to me, and I'll help you with that little missing piece out of your professional. And so I just didn't have patience. And it's one where I'm nice, I'm cordial, all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, it was like I was demanding.
Do you think that maybe that kind of drive played a factor in you having an issue with substances?
Yeah,
because you just wanted relief.
yeah,
Maybe relief from the mindset.
yeah. Part of it was that you almost like I almost buy into the bullshit, and I can never be this perfect being that I was trying to be. And so I'm always falling short, and that feeling of always falling short, and this just like I couldn't live up to what I thought I needed to live up to.
Right.
And so that was hiding, and I'm just gonna get a little relief from it. It's gonna so I can unplug.
Right.
And it was just one of those where it started with pain. Realistically, it started like, fuck, I'm doing something inherently. I'm gonna have pain.
Yeah.
And it was this progression from that of like, from pain to I didn't know what an opiate addiction was.
Yeah, in all fairness, I think we should tell people on the opiate epidemic had not occurred yet.
Yeah.
And people did not know. And there were a lot of people when they were taking these pain medications that they were not
addictive.
And they argued it in court. They argued it in court that it was not addictive.
Oh my God.
Which is really crazy.
Which I didn't understand. I didn't understand. I didn't understand. Like when I took it to the level that I took it, when I stopped, tried to stop, I didn't understand what being dope sick was. I didn't understand getting physically sick because I don't have the substance in my body. I would get diarrhea. I couldn't walk from here to the end of the room without having to sit down for a half hour.
It's almost like a parasite.
It is.
It's almost like a parasite that needs you to keep feeding it to stay alive. Because how else could getting poison out of your body be bad?
Yeah.
How nuts is that?
Yeah.
But you want it bad. You want to get it. You want to get the poison back in you. What kind of weird
and
biological mechanism is that?
That crazy part is the first recognition of that I'm stuck, that I don't know the answer of because I'm caught between, all right, I'm going through this physical withdrawal and everything else that comes with it, or I'm just going to go seek the thing that's causing the physical withdrawal because it makes me feel better. So you're caught in this loop of just bullshit, right?
And then you go, I'll just have a little.
Yeah, just that's it. I just need to feel better just a little bit. And, so it's one of those where it's there wasn't the internet back then. I couldn't fucking get on and, let's Google something. It's it wasn't that.
So how did you figure out that? When did you realize I've got a problem?
God, man. I always, from probably age 14.
Really?
Yeah, I knew when I first had a drink, that I drank until I was drunk. This tasted Jack Daniels, and it was this feels good. It was not a normal reaction. Looking back on it, going, so I've always had a propensity towards it. And then, it functions both ways because I get addicted to the sport. I get addicted to the routine. I get addicted to getting in a ring and taking someone's will. I get addicted to the crowd, the championship, the adulations, this. It's that's who I am, right? And it's a contributor to my success, but it's also a contributor to my demise. In both ways. It's from an early age, I understood hey, this could be a problem, and then when wrestling came along, I didn't drink during wrestling. During that whole season, I didn't drink. In college, I didn't drink during wrestling season. Doing, when it's okay, I'm in recovery. I have 7 years of sobriety now.
Congratulations.
So, yeah,
that's awesome.
I mean, it's for me, it's one of those foundational things of that's what I've been missing my whole life.
Yeah, and you keep repeating that term for a good reason. Foundational is everything.
Yeah,
having morals and ethics, that's foundational. Having your health, that's foundational.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's one of those where understanding those are the building blocks. Because if I don't have those things in place, nothing else fucking stands up.
Right. Of course.
I mean, it sounds like the
no, but it's an important thing to iterate because everybody should hear it.
It's a huge part.
You have to have structure, some kind of structure.
Figuring out my son, what makes him function? Structure. He's told me this. He goes, "You should have been harder on me." I'm like, "Fuck." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "All right." I didn't know. Like, I didn't know.
I'm gonna give you 4 scripts.
Yeah.
Could have given you
Could have given you 5, but you weren't fucking hard on him. Fuck up.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but he functions best with structure. Individuals are built like that, right?
Well, I think part of that is kind of probably seeing what you did and genetics, and it's like some learned memory in there.
I would think so.
I think there is. And I don't think we totally understand where personalities come from. It's a mixture of like spirits and hormones and genetics and where you are born and what part of the fucking moon's facing this way.
Oh my god, yeah.
I always wondered if that shit's real.
Oh my gosh, it's like, well, Jupiter's orbiting around my Saturn, and
I always wondered, like, why are they so into this? Is there something to this? Because if there is, I would feel real stupid if I was ignoring it the whole time.
You know what? Listening to Joe Dispenza, some of his stuff, it changed my whole thing. It's perspective of how, like, just having we're energy, right? We're energy, and your emotional energy is transferred to me. It's like why I was addicted to Dawn, because of that exchange of negative energy, right?
Yeah.
Back and forth. It's like being an addict.
Right.
I'm addicted to the drama.
You're also addicted to making up.
Yeah, that's the other one.
Yeah.
Because that's a feel good too.
Yeah.
Right?
Sometimes people want to get in fights just to make up.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's the whole process of that fucked up shit. It's how fucked
It's all fun.
Oh my
What do
god.
you hate fun? Yeah.
Oh my god. So it's that really fucked up part of like understanding, like looking back on it going, oh shit.
Bro, when you guys were fighting in the movie right before you were about to fight Buck Jensen,
Oh my god.
it is such a crazy scene. It's really well done, man.
Oh my god,
It's really well done.
it's how Emily flips that switch of like, fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You wanted me to come. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, it's like, fuck. That's what does it every fucking time.
It's amazing.
Of like that little like fucking asshole.
It's amazing.
Oh
It's so realistic. I mean, they nailed it. They really nailed it. How weird is it for you to watch like a segment of your life be recreated in a movie? Is it? I mean,
it's so surreal. I've used like I haven't found another word to explain.
right? It seems like there's not a word that they figured out for that one.
There's not, because it's just one where it's like, you know what? On the other side of it, and this is just me going, you know what? I'm grateful. I have a sense of humility. I have a sense of just being like deep, profound gratitude that DJ, Emily, Benny, everybody involved in the film wanted to take this on.
Yeah.
Like,
It's amazing.
Because I looked at it going, like, a lot of it's self-worth going, you really want to do a movie about my life? About me? Like, what the fuck? Like, really? And then understanding, like, what they see in me and the beliefs they have in the story, everything that's around it. Because at the end of it, it's action. It's like where I am today. I'm so thankful that I have my health. I'm so thankful that I have my sobriety. I'm so thankful that I get to experience these things and share, you know, my experience, strength, and hope, they call it, right? You know, with other people and give them going, look at all the fucking bullshit I went through, and I'm on the other side. You know, so whatever you're going through,
Yeah.
anything.
Truly. I mean, and the thing about what you did is that, like I said, I thought it was so brave that you did it publicly when you did the Smashing Machine documentary. And I was thinking, like, were you happy that you were getting on film? So, like, maybe this, like, would make you get clean? Was there any of that?
There's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Because part of it is that I didn't, at that point, the only person on the planet that knew what I was doing was Dawn, right? Nobody else on the planet knew what I was doing. And so when John had put the camera down, he's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're not being truthful with us. And I'm like, well, at that moment, I could have went, fuck you. Get the fuck out of my house. You're done filming. And there was this moment where it was like, I needed to tell somebody, okay, like, here's what I've been doing. And I don't know who to tell. I don't know how to tell it. I'm just going to show you. And that's when it shows me shooting up. It was that moment where I'm like, you want to know what I'm doing? Well, I'm going to show you. Because it was one of those where it's like, it felt like a weight got lifted.
Right.
Like all of a sudden it's just like, oh, fuck.
Did you ever think about not going through with the documentary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's what they ended up doing. So I didn't see one stitch footage at all until I saw the complete documentary in Los Angeles at the Dolby Sound Studio. So it was like a couple of years.
Wow.
Not a second of footage. So I sit down, the documentary as it appeared on HBO, right? And the filmmakers aren't watching the fucking film, they're watching me watch the film. Right?
Wow.
There's like 8 of us in the movie theater. I get the film's done, lights come up, and I literally stand up and John Greenhall goes, "What do you think?" And I go, "I'm gonna have to get back with you." And I just walk straight out, don't say another fucking word, get in my truck, start driving. Back then the phones, like in the car, he's calling me on the phone and he goes, "You're gonna be okay." I go, I have no fucking clue. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because the agreement we had in place was I had final veto over the content of it.
Like, I never showed you the content?
Until that day I saw it in the Dolby Sound Studios in Los Angeles. The content, the whole film, I didn't see any of it until that moment. So literally I drove home and John was like, "What?" I go, you have to give me a day. You have to fucking give me a day. I said, I don't know if I can go forward with that. I don't think I can. It's just too fucking much.
Okay, so you did have the power to veto that.
Yeah, I did. At the very.
What made you decide not to?
John had said something to me like, I guess it's like a parable where it's like, if you live your life and you saved one person's life, you've had a worthy life. Meaning that if somebody watches this and sees your struggles that you've gone through, and sees the hope that you have in that in your recovery, it gives them hope, or gives them, because what keeps you addicted is shame. The shame of what I was doing. It kept me quiet. I didn't who the fuck am I gonna tell?
Right. You don't want them to know.
No, you don't want them to know. Like, fuck no. And so that shame is what usually keeps me. But if they see me in the film go through this process and this deep revealing process of what was going on with me, it gives them an opportunity to go, why I can ask for help too.
When you got through the film, how long did it take you to get clean?
I got clean off of morphine, off the new I was doing. Because it's socially acceptable, easily accessible, all these different factors of it, and so that's eventually, like I've said, my mom passed away September 3rd, 1996, and so my son knows this, and so my sobriety date is September 4th. And so my son asked me that day, September 3rd, he's like, "Dad, I know you need a hearing today because your mom died, but would you stop tomorrow?" And at the time I thought it was just another empty promise of like, yeah, I'll stop. Next day I got up and there's just something a little different or whatever it was that day. And I stopped asking the question why, because it's irrelevant, right? And from that day till today, it was over. Wow. Yeah. Makes no fucking sense.
But it does. It's like you get better at sobriety, just like you get better at all other things in life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You get better at figuring out why. And, there's also the reality that I think a lot of people need to take into consideration when it comes to fighting is that a lot of guys they're self-diagnosing or self-dispensing something to make themselves feel better because they've taken a lot of damage.
Oh, yeah.
And they feel like shit.
Yeah.
And alcohol is a big one. A big contributing factor. A lot of former fighters become alcoholics. Cocaine is another one. Yeah.
Because it's one of those where I thought, I literally woke up, Joe, and this is no shit, like waking up going, okay, I don't know what's wrong with me. There's something fucking wrong. Like there's something wrong with me. And understanding like all this different stuff, head trauma and all these different factors, I really thought I was like going off the deep end. Like I was like, okay, alcohol was the only relief I got for what
Specific fight.
It was literally it was after 2006 and understanding once I got to that point, it's like that's when some of the relief came in, but part of it in my head, I don't know what it is. And so I was just seeking relief because of like, there's something that's fucked up in my head. And I didn't know what it was. Still to this day, I look at it like, I call it a God shot because it was one where it's like something needs to change because this is unsustainable. Unsustainable with alcohol, unsustainable with what's going on in my head. And, getting sober, things quiet down. It's actually quiet down. That first year took that sobriety bullshit that was in my head. Going, I just need neutral. Right? And once I hit neutral, it's like, oh, wow, I can build on this. So it's incredible. It makes no sense at all, but it makes perfect sense.
No, it does make sense because you're willing to articulate your deep thoughts, your very vulnerable thoughts on who you are as a guy who was, one point in time one of the scariest fucking human beings walking the face of the earth. And you're, that's important for people to know and to hear and to recognize that, man, a lot of people can get caught in that trap.
They
You don't think you couldn't.
Yeah.
Just be a little bit more compassionate and understanding and appreciate people for telling you very different truth about their life.
And then when it premiered at HBO at the studios, this was like the whole crowning moment is having like a 65-year-old grandmother come over to me. Who I would have nothing in common with. I mean, you know what? This door had opened where she felt comfortable to sit down and talk with me. It's about opening that door up so people can connect and go, well, if he can do it, I can tell my truth. Addictions are just, shaming. They keep you in just this. It's a horrible existence.
Did anybody ever recommend Ibogaine to you?
No, I've heard of that though.
So they're doing that now in Texas. The Ibogaine initiative passed through thanks to former Governor Rick Perry, Republican, who, through working with veterans, found that a lot of veterans who struggle with addiction and PTSD, that Ibogaine is incredibly effective.
Wow.
It's not fun.
No.
It's a psychedelic that takes 24 hours, and it's apparently like brutally introspective, but literally corrects addictive pathways, like whatever the connection is in the brain that causes you to be addicted to things. It can disrupt those in a very bizarre and unique way. And it's something like 80+%
90% effective with one dose of getting people to stay off of narcotics, cigarettes, alcohol. And I think with 2 doses, it's in the 90s. So if you do different ibogaine ceremonies, yeah, it was. They were going. Most people were going. My friend Ed Clay did it down in Mexico, and he even had a place that he was running down in Mexico because you couldn't do it in America because it's illegal here. But it literally stops the train of addiction dead in its tracks. They don't totally understand how it does it, but it's very effective. I know a lot of veterans who've had.
So they talk about like the neuroplasticity of drugs like that to create new pathways instantaneously.
Yeah, like I'd like to say those words, but I don't really know what they mean. When I say them, I'm just faking. I know that's how you're supposed to say it, so I'll say it, but respectfully, I don't know what the fuck's going on here.
Neuroplasticity. So
what I do know was my friends that I know that have gone and gone out of it has been mass effective.
Wow.
Get them off drugs, get them off drinking, get them, they just change the perspective. They go, okay, I get it now. They just realized where they were tripping over their own dick, like what they were doing wrong.
That's incredible.
Yeah, quick. I mean, what else is like that? Where it's like 24 hours later, you can get a totally new perspective in life and be cured of addiction. And somehow or other, that's illegal. That's illegal, but the stuff that they're addicted to is not.
Oh my God, that's like, that's
we're a
fucking
bizarro
land,
world.
right? Oh my God.
Total bizarro world.
Yeah, none of that makes sense, man. I mean, it just, that's a whole other rabbit hole.
It really doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no.
Like what we just said makes no. It should be the opposite.
Yeah.
It should be the opposite. This is so stupid.
Is it just one where it's like, if that stuff existed back then, it would have come short.
Yeah, it did exist, but it just didn't exist here because we're corrupt.
Yeah.
And so there, again, kudos to Governor Rick Perry, because what he's done, doorway to right-wing leaning people going, oh, maybe we shouldn't dismiss all these things that God put here on earth.
Oh my God.
Maybe some of these things are actually here to heal your brain, and we're ignoring them because you can't patent them. Like that might be the thing too. Not saying there's anything wrong with pharmaceutical drugs.
Right.
But I'm saying that this also might cure you, and it's a plan.
So that's, again, in the last 5-6 years, alternative perspectives has been just paramount.
Yeah.
In opening me up, to having a better understanding of like how rigid I was and how just this thin line thing I had for so long, stuff like this, and so, it's just been this incredible, experience to get to here because I've had to go, okay, I'm going to do meditation, I'm going to do this. I did, but it was visual meditation. How the fuck I was going to dismantle a dude in the ring, right? I would sit and do it. But this is meditation to access different parts of my brain, right? To try to get into delta waves and, theta, beta, all these different things so I can open different spots in my brain up, and so it's just been this, my wife, she's Nichiren Buddhist,
What is
Nam-myoho Renge-kyo. She chants every morning.
Duncan does that.
Yeah, Nam-myoho Renge-kyo. So the gold Buddha you have, we have one in our house. Not quite that big, but we have, so she's Nichiren Buddhist, and it's one of those things where she got me to start chanting. We don't even, we're so archaic in our.
Well, I think what happens is get connected to people, and you think that about
history or about the way things can be done.
Yeah.
Like it's all been solved, kids.
Yeah.
Like settle down. Well, everybody knows. Like, no, I don't think they do.
No.
I don't think they do. Show me how they built that.
Yeah.
Show me who the fuck
Yeah.
figured this out. Like maybe they knew about medicine that you're ignoring because you can't patent it.
Yeah.
These people have been making ayahuasca for 10,000 years in the jungle. Like,
Yeah.
Don't tell me.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Settle down.
Yeah.
Settle down. There's all the things that you think are valid plus other stuff. That's the thing that people have to recognize. You can't be rigid with what you believe in because sometimes it's wrong.
That's the part where I can't believe how much I'm opened up and been just receptive. And a lot of it's because I'm sober. It's like, fuck, I don't know shit, man. Like when you look at the bigger pictures stuff, I know so little.
Dude, nobody knows shit. That's the scariest thing. There's a bunch of people pretending they've got it figured out, but they're full of shit too. Every one of us is a talking monkey for shit. That alone, once you start with that, foundational, okay? You are so far away from nature. You're so diluted from being like a wild animal.
So, you know what I've actually done the last couple years? I've hugged trees. I've literally hugged trees. It feels beautiful.
Yeah, that's real.
It really is like walking barefoot, right? Like on grass and getting connected. And, you know, at first you did me 10 years ago, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, okay. Who says it's not?
I think nature is a vitamin.
Oh, yeah.
I think. Hey, where did the term really clung to trees to prevent them from being cut down? See, those people are probably on mushrooms.
Whoa.
That's why.
Good.
But
it makes no sense at all.
It makes no sense. You guys have food everywhere and you're starving. Boy.
Okay.
How'd you come to this? The only thing that makes any sense to me is those cows were giving you the mushrooms.
They had to.
Yeah, that's
they
where the
grow
mushrooms
them.
grow. That's where they grow. The best source of psilocybin
is cow poop.
Duncan used to live in, my friend Duncan Trussell used to live in Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
And the farmers out there used to put a certain kind of feed into their diet to make sure that fungus couldn't grow in their shit. So that the kids wouldn't go in the field and pick the mushrooms. Because there was so many spores in that area. These kids would go just get bags of mushrooms and go to other plants. So the farmer had to feed his cow some anti-mushroom.
I want to see if it's still there.
I wonder if it is. I bet there's parts of this country where they just grow naturally all over the place.
I would imagine.
So once those spores get out there,
I would imagine.
yeah.
I would imagine. I was supposed to actually go down to Brazil and ayahuasca.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy you have to go to Brazil to do that?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
But all these things.
We actually went down Panama. It's called. He starts explaining like this. For him, it was like seeing the face of God. He said it changed his whole entire being. And he's like, it's in the jungle, so there's no like it's. Yeah, exactly. And he goes, it's like
I just picture Alex Pereira walking.
Dude, totally, man. Totally. Like, that's a scary motherfucker.
Budger.
Man, that's swear
He's
to
the
God.
scariest. Oh, dude, his walk is the
Oh
scariest,
my
bro.
God, man.
It's the dopest too. He
It's
starts
his
playing.
taunt. It's his, I'm coming to get you. And nothing you could do about it. Built for one thing. And I bumped into him in Chicago, and it's like, he's built for one thing. He's built to fight.
Yeah, he's built to fuck you up.
Oh, he's built
He's
to
a
fight.
weirdly strong guy.
Oh, yeah, like literally, it's like he should be able to do what he's doing. It's like, you know, there's no wind up in his kicks. No, he tells. No. He looks at it good. Really?
But he's power.
Oh.
But the thing is, he puts it together with technique. It's not just waiting after you, trying to exchange with you and land first. He's setting you up, and while he's taking your leg, and you're not seeing the tells.
They're not there at all. He says, yep, that's it. They don't
Time you think it's coming, it's already there. You're like,
oh, and that's the whole thing. You're thinking you're gonna. No, you're never going to.
yeah, he's very clever with that, and he does sides too. He's just as good with the left when he's fighting a southpaw. He just starts chatting. Yeah, it's a horrible.
Oh my
That
God.
wasn't the thing.
No,
Crazy.
oh my God, it's
It's,
just
you have to know it now.
guys like looking at it going, you can't walk. Look at it. It's like 5 kicks.
Crazy that you went your whole career without seeing that.
I like where did like who discovered it?
Michael
You know?
Bisping.
Yeah,
Even Michael Bisping said it. I went through my whole career without getting calf kicked. That's so crazy.
yeah.
And world champion. Never got calf kicked.
Like that's a good thing.
Yeah, it was just
That's a
amazing.
really good thing.
But it's amazing that it came along so late.
It's because it's unbelievable. You would think that something that looks that innocent is so debilitating.
Well, Benson Henderson was the first guy to start implementing it in the UFC. And then Mighty Mouse did it to Henry Cejudo and made his leg go limp. Did you ever remember that? He started doing it. But this was like around the time where it started catching on. There was one fight between Dustin Poirier and Jim Miller. Oh, that was a horrible one. There was a lot of calf kicks in that fight.
Yeah, I mean that's a copycat league, right? It's a copycat thing. Like watching another fighter going, "Yeah, I'm gonna try it."
And now everyone has it.
Yeah,
Everyone has it. You have to have it, and you can't take too many,
no,
no matter who you are.
no, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's just one of those where
So vulnerable.
it's one of those where it's like there's other than checking it or getting out of the way, there's not a fucking shit you can do.
Well, Pereira has a very interesting way of checking it. So he checks it like the hacky sack way. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So like when you throw a kick at him, he just lifts his leg.
Yeah.
He just lifts
Yeah.
he has his knee there, and he just picks his leg up.
Yeah.
So the kick just kind of goes with it. And it takes all the impact
Take it
out.
away. Wow.
Because he was saying, as far as checking it, like you don't want to check it because it fucking hurts too much.
Yeah.
Like even if you're just checking, now that leg is fucked up.
Yeah.
Why check it when you can just do that like hacky sack thing? And he was showing us with it, like, oh, that's a different one. He does that one. That's a different hacky sack one, where he uses the back of his foot.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, his ankle is coming up parallel
Yeah.
to the
I know
floor.
exactly.
He's just he's clever. There's a lot of cleverness. It seems to be very creative, like the style that he has, like how he figures out how to, because he knows he's just got to land one. So he's got these very creative little ways to chop out the legs.
Yeah. I still think Sean O'Malley's got the best feints.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
I mean, just so I remember watching him before he got to the UFC, and a friend of mine was like, "No, you gotta watch this kid. You gotta watch this kid." You know, and watching him going, it would be like this just again and again and again, and just realizing, oh fuck, that's what he was setting up.
Yeah.
It was 14 feints, right? To get to what he wanted to get to, and then it was like a feint here, feint on this side, feint here, and he all of a sudden he's got a tendency. Now it's like attack time.
Did you ever see the Eddie Weinberg one? He feints an uppercut and he comes over the top of the right hand.
I've seen it, but I haven't
Oh, you're like
like stepped in, like fainted, like he was gonna throw an uppercut and turned it into a left hand.
Oh my god.
It was so clean.
Yeah, he's
Look,
done
watch
some
this.
stuff.
Watch this. Watch how he
It's
feints.
amazing.
Look at that. He feints a left uppercut and comes over the top of the right hand. Watch that again.
And that's one of those
That's
words
so
where
crazy.
that's
Just like watch the Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez.
fucking unreal.
Who's ever done that? Who's ever jumped up 2 weight classes like that?
Scary.
It's crazy.
Scary. So like watching it going. Canelo has such a bully style, right? He's gonna get in, he's gonna bang with you. Yeah, power. And watching Canelo, just our Crawford, just
box. Beautiful.
oh, you're like watch the whole thing. I'm like, that's art. That is.
He's so clever. Just the way and it got so comfortable. He's like pit pat.
You shouldn't be able to do that by any account. By any account, 37. My body was so wrecked. I'm like, fuck you. You know, I could barely go bowling.
I watched a video of Dolph Lundgren the other day. Like that guy was like, remember in Rocky 3? He was the first guy that was typically trained.
Yeah.
Whenever I think of like UFC, absolutely. Like you're talking about guys doing everything sign grin in Rocky 3.
Yeah, oh my god, man.
That was Rocky 4. Rocky,
Biologically manufactured, I think, from a test tube, type.
He totally looked like a Russian experiment in that movie.
He did.
That was the first time I saw him conditioning. He's unstoppable.
Yeah, I was on a first climber too.
Not a lot of fun.
No,
Not an enjoyable.
I do an aerodyne for my and then the challenge of just doing it.
Yeah. I think everybody needs a challenge. And just getting over the challenge of doing, like I'm doing on this elliptical machine period.
That's it.
Yeah, that's good for you.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It's giant.
Because it's just like when I trained at Come Small Wins, right? I just need a win. It's like some days I just need fucking a win. That's it. I don't care what it is.
Right.
I just need a win.
Right.
Being nice to my wife, being nice to, just whatever it is, I just need something that day.
Right.
It's like, fuck, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get out a fucking thing that I hate, and I'm going to fucking do it for 45 minutes, and that's a win.
And I think if you looked at the proportion, like if you looked at this, if there was a study done on people that are happy versus people that are not in this life, I bet the people that would generally say they're happy get more of those wins in over themselves.
Yeah.
Get more of those doing some shit that you didn't want to do, but you did it. There, I'm done.
Yeah.
I feel better.
And that's the, for me, that's the link to get to where I am today, is that I didn't understand how huge those components were.
Yeah.
Because when you're competing and stuff, it's easy because every day you need to get wins.
Right.
And you're stacking them, right? I'm stacking them. I need every day. I need a good training day. I need a good training day. And then you get to regular life, it's like, Okay, what the fuck? I'm not what's
You're not doing anything.
Yeah, what's my win? Letting somebody in on traffic?
that's a giant problem for fighters too, because you're at fucking 9,000 RPMs for years, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to go to normal life now?
No. And I didn't. So this is again where fucking this idea of like I didn't understand how much of myself was tied up in it and how much I needed to go. It's what I did, not who I am. And understanding like this who I am has a lot longer career than this fighter. Right? It's understanding who I like. Really get into the fact that I'm much more than just a fighter. You know, and understanding like, okay, what is that? You know, I'm a compassionate person. I'm empathetic. You know, try to be kind and understanding the people around me. I try to bring, I call it emotional sobriety, right? Like if I'm emotionally honest with the people in my life, everybody else fits in. If I'm emotionally dishonest, people get fucked up. My environment gets all fucked up. Right. It's understanding these aspects about my life going, oh God, man, I need to make these the important parts of where I'm building and what I'm building in my life. And it's been, it's been a process. It's been, some days I'm like, fuck this, man. Fuck this. And other days I'm like, it's just a day.
As long as you can keep that clarity of knowing that these fuck this days are gonna pass.
Oh God, yeah. Well, my whole fame speech, I call it, like when I was first getting sober, it was like, I would try to get through a minute. Like, I just need to make it through this minute. That's all. And I just need to make it through this next minute. I just need to get through this next. Some of them are fucking hard because I just wanted to fuck this because I'm so uncomfortable. And I'd get through that minute. I go, I just need to make it through this hour. I need to just make it through this day. And then it'd be this week, and then all of a sudden it's like a month goes by. But I'd still have to go back. I just need to make it through this fucking minute. Right. It's just how I'm built. Like this just self that just is so restless inside. It's like, fuck. Amazing.
Do you think that was accelerated by fighting, or do you think that was a pre-existing thing that drew you to fighting?
I think it was accelerated by fighting. I do. A lot of it just, I'm a competitor. Being a competitor allowed me to fight, but fighting was like hurting another human being to the level that I had to hurt them. That was a whole nother experience. It's like I could wrestle, I could compete, I could do grappling, but to physically beat, I had to flip a switch and turn into this other fuck. I'm glad I know he's there, but it's like that's not me.
Right.
It's just this weird dichotomy or this
that nobody ever really gets to experience except for someone like you. Yeah. Or maybe another higher.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's understand why there's a lot of the veterans go through. It's like that's not how you're built as a human being.
Right, you're not supposed to be normal. Yeah, like
it's like, oh fuck,
that movie Hurt Locker when it's walking around the supermarket until he wants to go back.
My God. It's just one where it's like it's not how I'm built. I have for other human beings, but I was glad to know that if I got put in a fucking room with another dude, I was coming out, motherfucker. That was a good thing to know. It's right. It's a good thing to know, right?
Yeah, it's a good thing to know. Yeah. Do you, when you look back, if you were going to give yourself advice, when would
which is a big deal for me. At the time, it was a huge deal. If I would have won the Pride Grand Prix, it would have been my drop. I could have walked away, and it could have been a complete moment where it's like, oh, I wonder how good he could have been. You know, it would have been a complete fucking mic drop, right?
Right.
But it just, at that moment, I knew that something had changed in me, that I didn't have that thing in me that I needed to do it. Because you need a thing in you to do that. You do. And that's what we're talking about. Like a gear. You need a different gear. You need a different component to get to that level. And if you don't have it, it's like
Your dislike hurting people was interfering with your job.
yeah. Because I mean, I had to just get to a place where, you know.
My friends are always like, so normal. It's so weird, so hard to believe that guy's one of the greatest fighters of all time because he's so normal.
Yeah.
But that's also the beauty in it. That's why people are fascinated by fighting, because they want to know what kind of normal person do.
Yeah.
What can a normal person train himself into?
Yeah.
What is possible?
Yeah, and that's the for myself, right? And it's one, okay, you know, and to get, for me to get was so not difficult, but transforming like into a completely different person. And it's understanding like when you're really focused on one, and that thing was, I'm gonna impose my will on you.
Right, of course. And they're probably unsustainable if you want to be a happy person.
No, you can't. You weren't strong enough to train this capacity.
I'm gonna end the stream. Try something else.
Look at this dude, he's beating the fuck out of you, and you got pants on. Right? You have fucking hot pants on. Beating the fuck out. So I mean, there's that whole. It's very fucking vulnerable to fight. It's just very like the loneliest place. Two loneliest places in the world: walking into the ring and after the fight's over. The two loneliest places I've ever been in my entire life are those two places. Because there's no help when you're walking into the ring. It's just fucking you. You know that. And after the fight, it's just you. And you have to live with whatever experience you just had, win, lose, or draw. You know, times I've won, I felt empty because it felt like I needed to go do something again. It felt like I needed to go achieve something again. Like everything was so focused on this thing. Once this thing's over, I need another thing. I need to go chase that thing. It's this never ending. Like for me, it was this never ending because I was trying to be enough. I was just trying to be enough, and I could never get there.
Isn't it crazy that kind of addictive behavior and thinking is almost the only way to make true excellence?
I know. It's just so fucked up, right? Like, come on. Because I know it doesn't only apply to fighters. I know it's actors, and I know it's artists, and you know, people that, do you think Steve Jobs had fucking, I mean, that's again, staying really focused.
singularly focused.
Right? I mean, it's just this. It's the you know, madness and brilliance. You know, are almost of the same thing, right? And you know, this driven component of me. The bane of that is that once that thing was over, I had to go fucking chase something else. I could never fucking sit in that moment and be okay with whatever. And, you know, again, it's one of those things where it's like, thankfully, I am designed the way I am. You know, because I'm finally in a place where I'm like, I'm okay with me. I'm completely okay with me. You know, and it's taken me a long time to get here.
Well, that's awesome, dude. I'm glad that you got there, and I'm glad to just be able to sit down with you and talk to you and tell you how much I appreciate, first of all, your career. That you've been able to do that Smashing Machine documentary, I think, wasn't just eye-opening for a lot of people to realize, like, wow, a lot of these guys are struggling in a way that we couldn't even possibly comprehend. It's all they're doing it in private. This guy just let us into his life. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, how many more stories are there out there like this? Opens people up to the conversation. But also, like, having the courage to let people look at your life like that, I think it's pretty powerful, man.
Oh, I appreciate it.
And the movie's great. And The Rock, you fucking nailed it.
Oh, my God. Yeah. I mean, The Rock, Emily.
She nailed it.
Oh, my God.
She nailed it crazy with it. She got an A+.
Oh, my God. Yeah, exactly.
For that craziness. Well, thank you, sir. Thanks for being in here,
I
man. It was
appreciate
a lot
it,
of
man.
fun.
I appreciate
Smashing
it.
Machine. It is out October 3rd, right? Is that when
Yeah,
it comes
October
out?
3rd. Yeah. Yeah.
It's very good.
I appreciate it, Joe. Thank
My
you.
boss Ruben kills it in it, too.
Yeah.
It's great. All right, thank you. Bye, everybody.
I
Fast and Furious star Tyrese Gibson is in legal trouble after his dog got loose and killed another dog. The actor was booked in Atlanta on Friday on a cruelty to animals charge and released on bond. Police say Gibson's planning course of meeting were here for.
Hey, Rabbi.
Good morning, Mr. Curtis. How are you, ma'am?
I'm doing good. Just waiting on my dad to get here. And I mopped and everything. Waiting on her to come and get my latest clothes. I can get them up.
Experience.
Alrighty.
How are you?
I'm well, thank God.
So, son,
Just living life.
How is it possible you
Better.
haven't been here
Getting better.
for 5
You
years?
sound better.
oh, shit, it's been 5 years.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
man,
welcome.
it's been 5
Got to
years.
take it about my nose. I'm
That's
ready.
crazy.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any
Slowly
sense.
coming.
I like it, though.
All right.
It's like, it's got the sauna walls and shit.
It's
I'm
very
here.
close to what these old was.
Wonderful.
Instead of brick, was like wood.
I'm ready to drink. I'm ready to drink water with you when you're ready.
It wasn't fake brick. It was real brick. But what they do is they take like a mesh, and then they take real bricks and they slice them thin, and then they put up the cement and they glue bricks in place.
Oh, okay.
That's not really a brick wall. It's like a brick
Straight
wall.
around, I take it
A
up
real
top.
brick wall
Wait,
should
you
only
gotta
be
take it. Then
the only brick wall that you show.
That's
Right.
You should,
All right, come on, Rabbi. I gotta take this medicine. Put that in the medicine.
plastic
Put that
brick
in
wall
the
like
water, okay?
Sounds like a plan, man.
I touched it. I was like,
This
oh, this is a fake brick wall. This is bullshit. This is plastic.
Yeah. I mean, it's a push to have like a
Take it.
half fake brick wall.
Take
To
it
have
right
like
there.
a plastic brick
Well,
wall.
wait,
That's,
no,
that's your
Did you just leave the
There's the compliment.
like from this place? No.
But the brick, it used to bother me that it was fake brick.
There's the compliment.
Some people have like some comedy clubs or somebody fake a
Oh,
comedy
yeah.
spot that have it's just a sheet.
Yeah,
Like it's not a curtain, but
a brick sheet.
a brick sheet. Yeah, bro, just what you got back there? Let's just show that.
Just show it up back there.
Yeah.
It's weird how that became the backdrop for a comedy club, a brick wall.
Why?
It's a good question. I don't know when it started. Maybe it started with Evening at the Improv. What was Evening at the Improv's backdrop? Was that a brick wall? It might have been that simple.
Yeah.
Because back in the 1980s, was it? Aha! Look at that. That's it.
It makes
Bro,
me
is
wonder.
that Ellen?
It makes me wonder if that wall is
Bro, that's
real.
Ellen. Look at that picture of Ellen. That's
No shit.
crazy. That's crazy.
Chris Rock, Adam Sandler.
Wow. Wow.
When I started doing comedy, I used to go to the comic strip, and they had a
All right, ready?
And
Yes,
to
ma'am.
get
Just
on
one moment.
stage at the comic strip, you have to come the first
All
Friday
right.
every month.
1,
And
2,
try to
3.
pick a number. And if
lotto things. So like all these open micers lined up down the street, and then
Here we go.
This is pre-dreadlocks.
Oh, yeah.
Dreadlocks? No.
There you go.
Like twisted shit. Please don't find none of those photos.
Bro, how long have I known you?
Like 30 years. Or
Yeah,
some
we've
shit.
known each other 30 years.
That's crazy.
Wow, we were little babies.
Yeah.
Little babies.
Doing the Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy when I'm like how? Not how, but we just had no fucking idea.
Yeah.
Like how all this shit would turn out.
No idea.
Yeah.
With no idea even how it all worked.
Right.
Like just taking chances on stage, trying to figure out what's funny, and then trying to get work. Trying to get work on the road.
I just knew once I had the inclination to do it, the moment I had the inclination to do it, I was like, oh, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. Like that. Once that moment hit, so then all bets on everything else was off. And I just started just doing it. And just doing it locally in Long Island. And then I remember seeing A&E, the Improv, and seeing Chappelle on here. And I noticed that all the comics on Long Island that used to like be ahead of me and host the shows that I was doing the mics on and headline all weekend in Long Island, none of those comics were on TV. So I was like, I gotta get to Manhattan. Like all the comics that were on TV were in Manhattan. So,
I felt the exact same way. Living in Boston, all these guys I knew that were so funny, but none of them were on TV.
yeah.
But the thing is, like, I knew that the people that were on TV, then they could go anywhere. Once you're on TV, then you can go to Kansas.
Yeah.
You can go to Miami. You can go anywhere. But if you weren't on TV, man, nobody was going to come pay to see you. It was a risk.
Yeah.
You know, you're out with your wife. You got a date night. Like, take a chance on this motherfucker. I don't know. Look at his face. His stupid fucking dreadlocks.
Whoa. I was on TV, man.
It's weird, though, right? Like, nobody knew.
I feel like we knew, though. Like, inside. Like, we had some type of blueprint because we've seen, like, successful comics.
Yeah.
But to go from, like, so, and I came here, moved to America when I was 17 from Jamaica. So when I started watching TV, I didn't know anybody on TV.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
What
I didn't
was
know
that like?
anybody on TV.
So, like, would you remember the first shows you saw?
First shows, well, they have American shows on TV in Jamaica. We had one channel back then. Was it one? We had one. And then, so when I came here, I watched SNL because Eddie Murphy was on that shit. So that was a requirement. I was always watching that.
Now I finally can figure out how old you are. Because you lying motherfucker. You won't tell anybody how old you are.
I don't lie, I just don't tell. It's two different things. I might run past the question.
I tricked you with that other Murphy lie. It was only on for 2 seasons. I got you.
So yeah, but I was 5 years old.
Was Eddie Murphy on for 2 seasons or 1 season? I think he was on for 2 seasons. If I'm guessing. Does it say? Was it really? Oh, you got a little room for error.
I got a little room for error. Always got a little room for error. Come on, man.
So that's 3 years. Good. So you did the 84, oh, you did the 81 and 84?
Yeah, 81.
Oh, okay. Okay. 81. So 4 seasons. So he put in his time. There's like, you know, I was saying about Cam Patterson getting on SNL now.
Right.
He might be the first guy in a long time to become a movie star from that.
Yeah.
Because it kind of went away. You know, the Mike Myers days and Phil Hartman and obviously Adam Sandler and like everybody became a movie star from David Spade. They all became movie stars. But then that kind of stopped, you know? And they kind of did it to themselves, all that woke bullshit.
Yeah.
Like they kind of like, they killed comedy movies.
Or they just pick somebody funny. Like there's people they overlook all the time that we know are funny.
Yeah.
That could be on that show. So it's good that they picked Cam. I'm gonna say some positive, derogatory shit about Cam. That's number one. Like, just fuck Cam, number one. Fuck Cam. I remember the first time I saw Cam, and I saw Cam we were at what's the that room on 6?
The Vulcan?
The Vulcan.
Yeah.
So I think I just did your room, then I went to the Vulcan, and then they don't, and what's his name? Like, you're next, and then Cam was to the side, so then I knew he was next. It was like the unknown show. So then I bring him up and I watch him, and then I had a tag for him. And I said, I'm gonna give you this tag after he got upstairs. I'm gonna give you this tag, but it's only gonna make you better than me, and you're gonna get picked up in advance. I could just tell. And I was angry, and I loved him at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just got it, and then fuck, this guy.
They got it. Fans. You got it in those fans. And if someone's funnier than you gotta go, God damn, he's funny. It'll inspire you to work.
Yeah.
And you can be funnier than you are, but you can only be so funny.
Yeah, but this is how crazy it got. So then 2 months later, I'm in LA. I see him at the store. And I said, what's up, man? You tell him, blah, 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 blah. He said, yeah, I'm here with my manager. It's my manager.
Your manager's managing him?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was like, I knew it.
One of your managers been ducking your calls. Sorry, I'm on a jet with Cam. Call you soon.
Yeah.
All's great.
But that's how close the parallels were. But that's a motherfucker's funny, man. He makes it look easy.
He works hard.
Yeah, he works hard.
He's always working. He's always on stage. He does that 1 new minute of Kill Tony every week.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
That's hard to do.
It's very hard to do.
Like, you have to sit down and work on shit.
You have to.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys who excel at it, like Ari Matty, Hans Kim, him, those guys, like, they fucking work hard.
Yeah.
You know, and a bunch of people did it for years and years and years. Like William Montgomery is I think he's the longest running guy ever.
Right.
But he's such a maniac, he can get a minute out of anything.
Right.
You know, he can get a minute out of coffee. Like going and getting some coffee. It's like a big part of what his comedy is just his personality, which is great. You know, because he's kind of a character. He's such a freak that when he's on stage, kind of anything is funny.
Yeah, like you know, what makes me mad? Like when you say that, I finally just see what Will is, because it's obvious to see what Cat Williams is. Like. And it's a part of him, and it's his voice. And it's like I call it a comedy cheat because I don't have it.
Right.
But like they're gonna talk, it's gonna be funny. Then if they add some writing to it, then you don't stand a chance.
Joey Diaz is the ultimate.
Yeah, there you go.
Joey Diaz is the ultimate person. That motherfucker is funny the moment he grabs his
He's like, come on, what God gave him that?
Just looking at him, everything about him. Everything about him. He's just walking comedy.
Yeah.
And he's fearless.
Yeah, and he's fearless.
And so he looks like that, and he talks like that, and he gets on stage like, oh, it's over.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's like you're
it's a force.
Like, it's like you give your mind up to him, like, to think for me. Let me take me on a journey. Take me on a journey and think for me. Theo's got that a little bit too.
Yeah,
you know?
and we saw Theo develop that.
Yeah.
Like through the years, and then it just started like
he just hit
drifting off and just getting to that place where you're just constantly just saying shit, and it kind of makes sense even if it doesn't.
Right.
And it resonates. Like
Brody,
yeah.
Another good example.
Yes.
Brody was just funny. He went 818 till I die. He'd die and laughing. No one even knows why they laugh at it.
Right.
They're laughing at that. He's talking about the area code for the valley outside LA. It's this like celebration of mediocrity in second place.
Hilarious.
You know?
And it wasn't Racina?
Yeah.
All places.
He was the best at that. He was so infectious.
Yeah.
Like his comedy was it would infect you. And you'd be in the parking lot, like repeat his lines. It was so fun.
Yeah. I would play this game with Brody where I just treat him like an open micer. And he would just play along. So keep going up, kid, man. You're gonna get better. You're gonna get better spots. Don't worry about it. Like, thank you, sir. And we just do it. He just went with it.
Yeah, when we were starting out, like both of us were like, when I met you, we were just past the open mic or just starting to work stage. We were both kind of like in the same
thing, and that's such a weird stage because you kind of no one knows what's gonna happen. No one, like there's a lot of dudes that we used to do comedy with back then that I thought were really good, and they just vanished.
Yeah,
They vanished. They went out, got regular jobs, and they gave up.
and that's scary to me because I never want that to happen to me.
Boy, when it does happen, it's never happy.
Yeah,
The guys that I know that do that, they always get weirdly bitter, like sinister.